It's your boy Adam. We're live. It's another Wednesday night here in the party house, in the place to be. It's 6 o'clock. You're all running fashionably late as usual, which is fine. No harm, no foul. Once again, I'm running really busy. Oh, son of a fucking bitch. Here we go again. Um, I don't know what's up with the camera. I cannot get this fucking camera to work life. The main camera that I try to use. What are we doing now? Let's see. Close my hand, open my hand, close, open. It's working now. I don't know. It goes out of sync and it just goes crazy for no reason. I think it's already starting to drift. Like I'm watching I'm not looking in the camera, I'm looking at the output, and it seems like it's a little bit off, but I've tried everything to fix this fucking camera, and I don't know. There's so many points between the camera and what you see on YouTube that this one, I don't know if I have to just buy another fucking camera and throw this one in the trash. I don't know, because it just does this every time now. But FaceTime camera that's built into the MacBook lag at all. So I'm really not sure what to think about this situation with this camera. Kind of upset. It never used to do this before. I can try. This camera used to be good, and then one day it just started sucking. And I have not been able to fix this problem since. And I'm gonna, yeah, I can't, it's slightly off. And I can tell when I'm listening to myself talk, it's like a half second off between the movement I make and then seeing it. There's a drift, and it just keeps getting worse. And dude, you cannot fucking understand how many things I've tried to do to fix this fucking camera. And here we go. It's fucked. So I guess I can't do it anymore. I can't use that fucking camera anymore. Because I have tried everything. Logitech Brio 500 is getting a thumbs down. I don't know what else to do other than buy another fucking camera for these streams. Because nothing I do will fix this problem. And it could be, there's so many damn points in the chain that could be causing this problem. This is an impossible bug to fix, I think. But sometimes it works just fine. Wait. I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of this fucking live stream. I'm just in a bad mood today all of a sudden. I'm not a big fan. I like doing the live streams, but there's so many more problems and so many more I can't tell. This thing is off too, isn't it? Like, because I have a little preview window that I can look at while I'm talking to you guys, and I guess it's in sync. Yeah, it's in sync. I don't know what to do other than we'll just roll with it because the show must go on. But I'm just irritated with YouTube in general, and I'm definitely not putting in the effort. Because, okay, so here's one. So tonight's live stream is just going to be random. So, show up in the chat, say what you want to say. You guys can steer the ship tonight. I didn't put together a specific topic, but you know me, I can talk about anything all day long. So I just have been busy, really busy. And I went on that 35-day productivity challenge, and I'm being more productive now. It kind of worked. It set me in a different direction. And it's kind of like, I'm definitely not like as organized and as efficient and all of that as I want to be, and I'm certainly still feeling overwhelmed in general. But it definitely set me on a different direction because I'm waking up earlier most days just naturally, and I'm getting more done. And but as a result, I've reduced my YouTube effort a little bit. And just to give you like I'm going to try and find the video evidence of this, because I go to these things, this YouTube creator community, they call it. When you get to a certain point on YouTube, they reach out to you and they invite you to come to these like boot camps and workshops and stuff like that. And they give you like a human being, where if you're having a problem or whatever, you can talk to a human being at Google. And the bigger you get, the more important you get. It goes from like you just being a peasant, you have a YouTube channel, they don't give a shit about you if something goes wrong, whatever. There's no human being to talk to. Then you become this in this club that I'm in. So you get a point of contact, you get a human being that you can reach out to, but it's like each of these people handles dozens, if not more, accounts. So it's not like they're exclusively your agent or whatever, but they handle dozens, if not hundreds of accounts each. So there's like maybe 5 of these people that I know of, and I know their names. And there's one that I'm supposed to be able to reach out to and ask questions and, whatever. And they're supposed to help us back. And then when you get to be like Mr. Beast level, or that, I was talking about that stupid little kid, Ryan's World or whatever, that plays with toys and makes $25 million a fucking year to play with toys on YouTube. You get to be that level, then you've got like actual teams of people at YouTube that work for you and do things for you, and they exclusively work for your channel basically because you're in the big leagues. So this is the minors. So I go to these meetings, and I don't go to all of them, but they're like once a week usually, sometimes twice in a week, sometimes you go a few weeks and there aren't any. And a few weeks back, they had this one, and the title of the meeting was Decoding the Algorithm or something like that. And I'm like, oh, this will be great. And I've got a lot to talk about with this topic give me a few minutes. But I went to this meeting, and this guy, some guy who works at YouTube, who's the algorithm guy, I guess. I don't know. He gets in there and he starts gaslighting everybody. And he said specifically numerous times, number one, we don't have any channel level restrictions on your accounts. So whatever's wrong with your account, like if shadow banned, they said over and over again, we don't shadow ban accounts. If we have a problem with any of your content, we reach out to you directly through YouTube Studio. We'll give you warnings. We'll delete the content, whatever. We communicate honestly and openly with you anytime that we have a problem with anything that you do. And over, this guy said, we do not have any channel level restrictions that we place on your accounts. So whatever's going on with your account, if you're like me, I'm shadow banned. And so like they locked my account at 1,200 subscribers. And I haven't gained a single subscriber in over 20 months. And that's not normal. Like that, a goldfish swimming in a fucking bowl in a live stream for 3 hours a week would get more subscribers than one in a span of 20 months. And so like, I've been doing my homework on this, and this is what happens when YouTube shadow bans you. And I've talked to people, I've talked to other creators, I have heard other creators talk about it on their own videos without knowing them personally, but they describe exactly what I'm experiencing down to like every small detail. Boom, boom, boom. Like they talk about their Google Analytics and everything or YouTube's analytics and everything that you can decipher on your own. And the same shit's happening to me. But once again, I'm in this meeting and over again, this guy is saying, we do not put channel level restrictions on anybody's account. Shadow ban's a myth. We don't do that. So that was like 3 weeks ago. So I'm in another one of these meetings yesterday. And the meeting was over, but some people stayed behind to ask the YouTube people questions. And I was just about to close the window, and this one woman got on and she asked a question about how her account is, having problems and this and that, kind of like what I'm going through, and that she's had videos get deleted and stuff. And I'm like, I think I want to subscribe to your channel because when we log into these meetings, you don't necessarily have your channel handle as your name when you log into these meetings. So sometimes I can just go to someone's channel because they make it obvious. But this girl, I couldn't find her channel, or I would have subscribed to it, because I'm like, if she's getting kicked off YouTube and having all kinds of censorship issues, then she's my kind of people. I want to see what she's posting. And anyway, she was talking about this stuff, right? Well, the YouTube guy that was running the meeting, he said to her, amongst a lot of other things that he said, one of the things that he said was, let me check with the team and see if we have any of the back end flags on your account that would cause you to be having restricted distribution and things like that. And I'm just like, wait the fucking minute here. Is he said it well, like it was just nonchalant, like it was nothing. And I'm like, you motherfuckers just spent a whole fucking episode of this fucking bullshit meeting 3 weeks ago talking about, we don't put any channel level restrictions on anybody's account. And now I'm in a meeting 3 weeks later and you're just casually telling someone, let me check and see with the team if there's any back end flags on your account that would be causing your account to have all these problems. And I'm like, a back end flag, number one, that's a channel level restriction that they claim that they don't do. But now this guy is just casually, oh yeah, there might be a back end flag. Your channel might be flagged on the back end for something, and that might be why you're having all these problems. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You just said 3 fucking weeks ago that there are no channel level restrictions, and now like it's nothing, you're just out there saying, oh yeah, let me check to see if any of those back end flags are on your channel. A back end flag is also like, remember how I told you, they told us, we communicate with you openly and honestly if there's any problem with your channel. And now they're talking about, oh yeah, there's these back end flags that we'll put on your channel if we don't like you, or what, you know what I mean? Like, a back end flag means that it's a flag, which means your channel has been marked for termination or for being a problem channel on the back end, which is what you don't see. They see it, but you don't see it. That's what that means. And they're just telling you like 3 fucking weeks ago that that doesn't even exist. Well, all these meetings are recorded. So I can go back and download. I can easily find the recorded version of those videos. And believe me, one way or another, I can download or just do a direct video stream capture with OBS or some other software. But I can go get the recordings of them telling us this, telling us that, no, we don't put channel level restrictions on your account, / let me check to see if there's any back end flags on your account. And yeah, Angel, that's what I've been asking them so often. I've bitched about being shadow banned many times, and I've openly, I make it obvious that I don't give a fuck about these people or about YouTube or being in this stupid ass program. And I've said out loud more than once that I'm like, I don't even know why you guys invited me here, because everybody in this fucking club has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. and you've got me locked at 1,200. You won't even let me get one new subscriber in a span of 19, 20 months. Why am I here? Why did I get invited to this stupid ass thing? No, they just gaslight you and, oh, let me look into that for you and blah. And they're just the blue-haired woke liberal fucking, people who cut their dicks off and go running around in a dress all day and want to be called a fucking girl. And, oh, if you don't want to call them a girl because, it's just some fucking, it used to be called mental illness, but now they're brave. I was gonna, when that decoding the algorithm meeting came up, I had planned on filming it and then jumping in and putting them on blast about being shadow banned and all that. And I was going to make a video out of it. And then I'm like, you know what? Like, that would be like walking into church and telling everybody, standing up in the middle of Sunday service and saying, you know, Jesus isn't real. Satan is good. Satan is your pal. You know what I mean? Like, I'd just get kicked out of the fucking church and nobody's going to listen to me or care. And so, for example, we were in these breakout rooms yesterday, and I'm just like, sometimes those little breakout rooms, because there will only be like maybe 5 of us in a room. And so we can all talk and get to know each other a little bit. And sometimes I meet some cool people. So sometimes these meetings are worth my while because every now and then I meet somebody cool because of it. But it's rare. One time I was talking to the group of 5 or whatever about being shadow banned, and I ended up meeting a guy who has like a truther channel. He talks a lot about like the pedophilia in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. That's his main focus. But he was like, oh man, we got to get to know each other. So we've had some conversations. But it was because we were sitting in one of those meetings together, both rolling our eyes about how stupid this is and how much we hate being here. But he heard me talking and he's like, wait a minute, we should talk. It was like that girl yesterday that made me want to know who her channel was, because she was talking about having all those problems with their censorship and whatnot. And anyway, so I'm sure they monitor everything. That's not even the point. Because I don't care. I don't show up to these things. A lot of times though, especially lately, if I show up to one of the meetings, I just kind of sit there like a fly on the wall with the video, I'll have the meeting on, but I'll be doing something else and I'm just kind of listening as if I have a YouTube video running in the background, and I'm just sitting there working on something else and not really paying any attention to what's going on over there. It's just on in the background and I'm not participating, and I'm just kind of barely, don't really care about what's going on there. And because it's kind of a waste of time, but every now and then it's not, and that's the only way I can describe it. But every now and then I get a little nugget of interesting things, like the gaslighting of, we don't put channel level restrictions on accounts here at YouTube. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, however many weeks it's been, this guy just casually saying, well, let me check to see if any of the back end flags are on your account that would be causing this problem. And I'm like, so I am going to try. Now, the only thing about that one video from yesterday where he was talking about the back end flags was, this was after the meeting had officially ended. So I don't know if they stopped recording before they talked about this. So that'll be the first video I look at to see. Or it just could be, they use Google Meet. It used to be called Google Hangouts, but it's the Google version of Zoom because it's YouTube and it's their platform. But it may just be configured to automatically record the whole meeting beginning to end. And when everybody disappears, it stops. Like, it might be an automated thing. But they have the pre-recorded versions of all these meetings of, I can download, I can go, I don't know if I can directly download them by right clicking and downloading the video file, but if I can play the video file, I can get the video. It may have to be a little bit more work on my part to configure a stream sucking app to get the thing, but no, I can definitely get these clips. And so another thing, this ties into another thing I'm doing right now. I've got a client that I've been talking to you about this client, the guy I helped with the writing of the book and all that. And so he had me shift gears a little bit and start doing more video work for him, which is good because that's where he needs to focus if he wants to actually sell the books. It seems like right now the only person making money off the book is me because I get paid by the hour. And that's, fine. But fine with me, but I would like to see him succeed. And so he had me start working. He did a really long interview. He has two formats of videos. He does like these he wants to do these weekly Mindful Mondays, they're called, where he just talks about, spirituality and stuff like that for 5 to 10 minutes once a week. But then he does these in-depth interviews with interesting people. He's already done a bunch of them over the years. He just doesn't do them consistently. But he has this hour-and-a-half long interview, and one of the people in the interview was on 60 Minutes. It's a psychiatrist who was on 60 Minutes with Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace interviewed the guy on 60 Minutes because he was the one who went after Donald Rumsfeld and the whole aspartame thing. This guy's from Jamestown, where I was living in New York, and he was the one who exposed aspartame as being poisonous. And they tried to ruin this guy's life, but they put him on 60 Minutes and tried to put him on blast, but the guy was too smart and basically made his case about how aspartame is poison and all this and that. And so I have this hour-and-a-half long interview, and I've been chopping it up into YouTube shorts. And a YouTube short can only be 3 minutes. Can't be 3 minutes and 1 second. It cannot be. In fact, the first short that I uploaded was 2 minutes and 59 seconds. YouTube calculated the time code to be 3 minutes and 1 second, and it rejected it. It wouldn't let it be a short. And I'm like, so I had to go back and edit again and take 1 more second out of the video somewhere just to get YouTube to accept it. And then I had to put a marker in my template that's like 2:59:00 is the longest it can possibly be. It cannot, and it should be under 2:58. Because if you make a video that's between 2:59 and 3, YouTube will round up or do something, and it'll calculate to 3 minutes and 1 second. And so it'll screw up. So anyway, I learned a lot of stuff about doing YouTube shorts, and I got paid for it. And I made about 5 or 6 shorts so far from an hour-and-a-half long video. And these are not easy edits, by the way. These are the way the video was shot in the first place with multiple cameras, and there's some other aspects of it that are a little more it would be easier to take my live streams or my personal videos and chop them up into shorts because I'm sitting in front of the camera. It's consistent. I wouldn't have to shuffle the crops around. I wouldn't have to do a lot of there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have to do. And I'm a little bit quicker paced when I talk versus the people in this interview. And there's other things like that. But here I am taking like these, one segment was 15 minutes long, and I chopped it down to 3 minutes. That took time because I had the only way to do it is here's the story beginning to end. And then you go through and you do a pass and you cut out anything that's fluff, anything that doesn't add to the story. Get to the point. Now it's down to like 9 minutes. Crap. That's still a lot. I got to get it down to 3. So I go through it again. I'm like, okay. And I have to kind of pick and choose. This I cannot delete. Okay, I can probably delete that. I can delete that. And you just it's a process of elimination until you finally get it down to like, oh, it's 4 minutes. I still got to get a minute out of this thing. Now I'm going in and I'm like, anytime that they stutter or go, or pause for a half second, I'm like, that's a half second. I got to get rid of it. Like anything I can do to get that thing down to 3 minutes. And then when I play them, once I get them down to 3 minutes, they actually come out really good. The audio is like banging. It goes real smooth with the audio from beginning to end, and it tells the story, doesn't skip around, doesn't jump around or, go around in a loop like I do when I'm talking in the live stream or even my regular videos. And it just gets to the point, get to the point. And I'm finding that like you can really tell these 15-minute long stories in 3 if you I'm not going to use AI to make these edits because AI wouldn't do good of a job. Like this really does take some manual labor. So I've got it down to like 1 to 2 hours to get a 3-minute short. But that part of that is because of the raw video that I'm getting it from is a little bit more difficult to work with than but anyway, I'm getting a workflow down for creating shorts. And so I'm going to go back. All I got to do is pick any video I've ever done. All my videos are like an hour. I've uploaded or I put a video live today in that 35-day challenge or whatever. It's 3 hours long, for crying out loud. Like I can take any video I've done and I can open the transcript. YouTube automatically generates a text transcript for any video you post on the platform. So I don't have to scrub this thing back and forth looking for any, I can, if like a live stream tonight, if I go on some rant and some tirade about something, which I already did. If I find the right, if I remember the right things, I talked about this, I talked about that. You can search that transcript and find exactly where it is in the video in like no time. And so I can just pluck content out of these videos of mine. I can create YouTube shorts all day and they can be used on YouTube, TikTok, Hipstergram, and all in X. I'm trying to build my X account. Video would help a lot there. So I'm getting like a good workflow for doing this and doing it in a way that you're not just, there's things in YouTube Studio. You can go to your long form videos and ask YouTube's AI bullshit to just make short videos out of it. YouTube will automatically pick thumbnail images for your videos. But for me, it always picks the goofiest, like anytime I'm like, or like just some goofy ass face. It's like they have some trained algorithm bot that goes through my video and looks for the most idiotic looking face that I make in the span of an hour and a half and goes, oh, that's the thumbnail right there. And so I actually have to go through and scrub the damn timeline back and forth and look for random. If I'm just going to do a basic thumbnail with me and my face on the camera, I have to do it myself because otherwise YouTube picks awful pictures for the automatically generated thumbnail. And it's the same concept with the shorts videos. Yeah, you can let them do it for you and it'll save you time, but the results aren't going to be as good as what you would get if you took the time to do it yourself. But once again, it's all time. It's like, how much time in the day do I have for that? And I don't know if posting shorts and doing different things like that will break me out of the YouTube shadow ban. I don't know if it's worth my time. The only reason that I feel like it's kind of worth my time is because I can use them elsewhere. You can't upload hour-long videos to TikTok because TikTok's full of short attention span retards. And they don't want to watch an hour-long video on TikTok. They want to see 30 seconds is about the most. 3 minutes on TikTok, that's like asking someone to sit through a 4-hour-long movie without an intermission to go to the bathroom. That's like watching Gone with the Wind at the fucking movie theater without getting to go take a piss halfway through the movie. People aren't going to be down with that. 3 minutes is the max for YouTube Shorts, which is kind of, at least it keeps you capped under 3 minutes. So I'll just repurpose those short videos and put them on YouTube, TikTok, X, maybe Instagram. Maybe I'll set up a second Instagram account just for those and keep my photography separate. I'm not 100% sure how I kind of want to handle it, but they have more purpose than just one platform. And so, if whatever, if it works, it works. If not, I honestly don't think that I don't think that there's anything I can ever do to unjam the log jam on my YouTube account and get out of the shadow ban, because once they put the handcuffs on you, it's a life sentence. I could start a second YouTube channel and it could be like I could pretty much just be a good boy and never swear and do like educational stuff and totally not do politics on this channel, and just but because they're going to match it to me, it'll automatically be shadow banned from day one because I'm already black flagged. There's already a back end flag on me as a person. So like nothing I do in YouTube is ever going to take off. And so I'm kind of at the point right now where how much is it really worth my time to even try anymore? I mean, I'm here, I'm doing the live stream. I've still got 2 videos to do for those that 35-day challenge. I recorded the last day of that challenge, and I just have to do a quick little edit on the back end, so I can't just directly upload it from a phone, or I already would have. And so it needs a little edit. And then I've got notes where I'm just going to kind of do a wrap up video where I sit down and basically say everything I learned from it. Here's everything I got done. Here's everything I wasn't able to do. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't. Here's what I learned. Here's where and now it's been a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, I guess. It's been a while, however long it's been. And like there are benefits that I'm experiencing today from having done that. And I'll talk about that and how it was a good idea. I'm glad I did it. But at the end, I just have other things I need to do. Or, YouTube is not going to, I could work 200 hours a week on YouTube and never gain another subscriber because YouTube did that. They locked me. They don't want me to ever grow, and they will do that to you. Back end flags that they say could be on your channel that they also say don't exist. And so I've got them saying that they don't do it, and then I've got them 2 weeks later saying they do it on video. I just, like I said, if I can download those videos, I'll get kicked out of the program for doing that, and I'll probably get in trouble for it. But what the fuck do I care? Maybe that'll be the video that gets me out of the shadow ban. Wouldn't that be funny? Because people might, the keywords, people might be typing in looking for shadow ban videos or how to get out of a shadow banner, and it's a popular topic. So maybe that video would take off and be the one that unlocks the secret growth of my channel. But I think it's whatever, dude. It's fine. It just sucks that YouTube's the only video platform where you can have a chance to grow, because none of the other people are trained. They're just a bunch of dumbass sheep and lemmings, and they go to wherever they're told to go, and that's it, and they'll never leave. So YouTube is like 99.999% of all video on the internet now. And there's like 30 different YouTube competitors, of which Rumble is the biggest one. And all of them combined aren't even 0.1% of the market share. And you can go to Rumble and you can create a new Rumble account and post videos all day. And I guarantee you, if I put 500 videos up on Rumble and spent 50 hours a week trying to build my presence there, I'd have 3 subscribers at the end of 6 years, because nobody will ever know you're there. The problem with these social media platforms is they make it that these algorithms are curators. The content, they only push the content they want you to see now. Even Facebook started out as, people wanting to keep in touch with their friends and see what their friends are up to. That was the whole point of the thing. It wasn't supposed to be like some whore goes up and puts a picture of herself wearing a thong and gets like 6 million simps liking her page. That really wasn't what it was meant to be. It was meant to be for you to connect with all your friends, and then you can all share stuff that you and your friends see. So I log in and I've got 30 friends and I get to see what they ate today, or I get to see where they went to the beach, or what they did on vacation, or, oh, here's pictures of the new grandkids or whatever. It's like that. Now you go to Facebook and you don't see any of that shit. If you follow it only if the only people you follow on Facebook are your friends and family, you will never ever ever see anything that your friends or family post ever, unless you go to their specific Facebook profiles, because all Facebook shows you is ads and bullshit that people paid for you to see, paid posts, and a bunch of crap that you're not interested in. And it's all just curated and shoved in your face, and you don't actually see anything that you want to see there anymore. And X is like that. YouTube is kind of like that. YouTube has an algorithm that tries to figure out what you like, but then they try to figure out what you like and then shove the stuff that they want you to see that they think you'll like. So they at least curate it a little bit to where, here's this whole buffet of what YouTube wants you to watch, but they'll narrow it down and shove the stuff in front of you that they think you'll like out of that bunch. But like you won't see. I follow hundreds of channels, and I do not see shit from any of these other channels in my feeds unless I just scroll through the subscriptions and go, I wonder what this person's up to. Boom. And oh, wow, this person posted 50 videos in the last month, and I never saw one of them on my fucking timeline ever. But the stuff that shows up on my feed is just garbage that I don't want. And I've noticed on the YouTube homepage and such, when I click on there's a little ... menu under every video, and you can say, do not recommend this channel. Do you know how many fucking times a day now I say, don't recommend this channel, don't recommend this channel, don't recommend this channel, do not recommend this channel? The next time I log in, it's the same 5 fucking channels again. The ones I said, don't recommend it, don't show me these videos anymore. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Not interested and do not show this channel again are 2 separate options in that menu, and I do it all the time. And then you log back in tomorrow, all that same fucking bullshit's still in the list. They do not fucking listen to you. You tell them, I don't want to see this fucking garbage. I don't want to see some OnlyFans whore talking about Jesus. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want to watch her. Boom, there she is, 6 fucking times on the homepage again. Even though I said, not interested, not interested, do not show the channel, do not show the channel, do not show the channel. Boom, it's right back. They don't fucking care what your preferences are. They're shoving it in front of you because this is who they're promoting this week. And then they turn around and gaslight you and say, well, we don't do that. Well, they do that. They all do. All the social media sites do that now. None of the social media sites, you as a user are supposed to be able to go out and say, I want to follow this person, this person, this person, and this person. And then the company just says, you know what, fuck you. We're not going to show you any of that. We're just going to show you the people we want you to see. So X is like that. I'll say, every time I log into X, who do I see? Cat Turd, Gunther Eagleman, and like 2 other fucking accounts. All day long. Cat Turd posts 150 to 200 times a day, that fucking bag of shit. And all I see are, every time I log into X, it's his posts. The only way to make them go away from the feed is to outright block his channel. And even that don't make them go away all the time. It's fucking crazy. But X will promote 4 different accounts. Elon Musk, Cat Turd, Gunther Eagleman, some other channel. And that's all you'll ever see. I follow over 200 accounts. I only see 4 whenever I log in. The same 4 fucking people over and over again. And then you wonder why these 4 accounts all have 5 to 10 million followers each. Well, it's easy to get 5 to 10 million followers when every single fucking person who logs into X has to look at these 4 people's accounts over and over and over all day. It's a no-brainer. But the accounts that nobody ever gets to see, they're stuck at 10 followers for the next 6 years. Why? Because X won't show them to anybody. It's a fucking retarded ass shit show, and nobody likes it. Nobody likes this. That's why a lot of people just got out of Facebook, because grandma and grandpa don't go to Facebook anymore because they don't see pictures of they signed up to follow their kids and their grandkids, and they want to see the pictures of their grandkids and their great grandkids and the nieces and nephews and all that shit. They want to see what everybody ate. They want to see the pictures from the beach. They want to see, the Thanksgiving pictures and all that. And Facebook's like, fuck you. We're going to show you a bunch of garbage. Here's a bunch of fucking garbage that we show everybody, regardless of who you are. These are the people that paid for us to show you their stuff. That's what you get to see. Fuck you. And so nobody wants to go there anymore. I go to Facebook Marketplace sometimes, and even that's a total shit show. I've never seen anything that fucking bad when it comes to an online marketplace, but I do find things there. Craigslist is beat, at least here in Houston. I don't understand how it's the 4th biggest city in America and Craigslist is completely fucking useless. In Pittsburgh, that wasn't the case. Craigslist was very, very useful. That you could find anything that you were looking for on Craigslist in Pittsburgh. But here in Houston, I don't know if it's just the time differential from when I went to prison and when I came home, things changed. But here in Houston, there ain't nothing. You can't find. But then again, I did find my bicycle on Craigslist. I bought a Specialized road racing bike when I moved into that little tool shed, so I'd have a second bicycle as for a backup transportation until I could get a car. And I did find that on Craigslist. So, but it was the only bike that I found on Craigslist that it was worth getting in touch with the owner and whatnot. All the other ones that I was going to look at or that I'd been talking to people about were all on Facebook Marketplace. But Facebook Marketplace is a total disaster. User experience wise and the way it works, it's a completely broken shit show. And but all these platforms are just built to promote certain people. Rumble, it's the same thing. Like, you cannot grow an audience on Rumble if you weren't already famous to begin with. If you've got 10,000 followers on YouTube and you decide to move to Rumble, you'll get a couple thousand followers on Rumble just because they'll come over. They'll come. Because if you constantly go to YouTube and say, hey, come over to Rumble, the party's better over here, you'll get people to go over there. But when you have no followers to begin with and you're starting there, you'll sit there putting videos up for 20 fucking years on Rumble and you'll have 6 followers. 5 of them are bots. They're not even real people. So it's like, it's a lost cause. And, that's shame on them, because they're honestly, out of all the platforms, they're the only ones that have anything that could even compete with YouTube, but they don't have discoverability. And so without that, there's no incentive for anybody to go there. That's the reason why YouTube grew, is because anybody could post something and people could find it. Especially before they crack down with all the censorship and whatnot. You have the right keywords in your title. I mean, Alex Jones used to put up videos on YouTube and they would go crazy. They would go absolutely bonkers through the millions of views. And then YouTube would have to come in, and that's another thing that they do on the back end, is your video gets 6 million views and then you log in tomorrow and it's down to 200,000 views, because they'll delete views. They'll go in and actually delete the count. There's a reason why YouTube they didn't get rid of the thumbs down button, but they don't let you see how many people gave the thumbs down. Because every time Barack Obama would get on YouTube and post a video on YouTube, he'd get like 6 million thumbs down and like 2,000 thumbs ups. And they couldn't have that. So they had to be like, okay, we're trying to lie to you. And we're not doing a good job if you see that, 6 million people gave Barack a thumbs down and 2,000 people gave him a thumbs up. So we got to hide the thumbs down. That's why they did it. That's why they got rid of the thumbs down. You don't see the number of thumbs downs that somebody gets anymore. Even though the thumbs down button is there, you only see how many people like it. They used to show you both. But when Barack was getting ratioed so bad every time that motherfucker showed up on YouTube, they're like, okay, we can't. Or Hillary Clinton, it was the Hillary Clinton campaign with Donald. Every time Hillary Clinton would put up a campaign video, 8 million thumbs down and 200 thumbs ups. You know what I mean? Like, that bitch couldn't even fill a high school gym with supporters. They'd have to come in with the news cameras and do like a tight crop where they take 10 people and make it look like a crowd of 1,000 and have her speaking to them and do like, 400 millimeter lens trickery and all that kind of shit to make it look like there's a crowd. But Donald Trump shows up and he fills a whole stadium full of people. Remind you, that was back when Donald Trump was pretending to be a man of the people and that he was actually going to do something for us. Not this Donald Trump, not Israel first Donald Trump that we have today, who basically said, fuck you. I don't even give a shit about your financial situation, America. Me first. He changed all the signs that said America first, and he painted out the A and the Erica, and now it's just me first. That's Donald Trump now. That's the me first Donald Trump. Benedict Donald is what we're going to call him from now on. The biggest fucking backstabbing traitor in America. But back when he was the better choice, I guess, between him and Hillary Clinton, they had to change the rules on YouTube because she was looking bad. She was looking real bad. And so they got rid of the thumbs down count just because of that. And, it's been going downhill ever since. I mean, the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump years are when all the 9/11 was what brought out the censorship first. It was the liberals getting censored for speaking out against George W. Bush. But all of this online video and social media was still in its infancy. But, you remember Bill O'Reilly. Every time somebody would go on Bill O'Reilly on Fox, he'd be like, cut the mic. He'd kick people off his show. Cut the mic, go to a commercial whenever they'd say anything that they didn't want you to hear. And so of course they're going to fucking backlash. As soon as the left got the little bit of power to where they could push the big red button and shut people up, they jammed on that motherfucker. And now it's just going to be worse. And now MAGA has gone full retard, and now it's just a fucking retarded ass cult. And now MAGA is hitting the big red button even harder than the Democrats did, And do we have to talk about Kentucky yesterday? Like, I don't know a whole lot about Massey. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the meme war. I was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna ever vote again, but I'll post memes. That's about as much as you're gonna get out of me. That's about as much time as I got to put into this fucking joke of a country. To save the country, I'll post some fucking memes, and that's it. That's my part. That's all I'm doing. And but a lot of people like him, and a lot of people like him who I respect. And he was obviously the better choice in the two. It was the guy who was funded by Israel and Thomas Massey, and we saw what happened. Let's see, there were like 10,000 mail-in ballots. And, the candidate won by 10,000 votes. Imagine that. There were like twice as many people voted in that district race than any other year before it. They spent, $50 fucking million on a campaign for a congressman. Like, Donald Trump just decides, anybody who wants the Epstein client list to come out, Donald Trump goes after them and sinks their political career. And then it makes you wonder why is Donald Trump working so hard to defend child molesters. And then MAGA's like, well, we're child molesters now. We're pro-pedos. We're pedophilia is good. Pedophilia first. Like, MAGA's gone full fucking retard. Those red hat idiots are just fucking insane. And it's like I've been talking all along. It's just a cult. It's no different than Dr. Fauci's mask-wearing COVID cult. Driving around in their cars by themselves with nobody else in the fucking car, making sure they got their COVID mask on. I live in fucking Texas. Texas, red-ass Republican gun-toting Texas. They still use horses for transportation here in Texas. And I kid you not, every time I go out in public, and I don't mean like once in a while, I mean, I've lived here since September of 2024, and here it's May 2026. Every single time I leave the house, and I mean every single time I leave the house, I still see people walking around with their fucking COVID masks on their face. Yesterday, I saw them. I went to the grocery store. Was it yesterday or Monday? Monday afternoon, I went to the grocery store. COVID masks all over the fucking grocery store. Texas. What do you? I guess it's because it's tick season. They probably think the COVID mask will protect them from getting tick bites. The Bill Gates ticks that they're dropping off all over, and they're dropping boxes full of ticks out of helicopters now all over America to make everybody sick so they can't eat red meat. Like, what the fuck? I'm just watching this motherfucker burn to the ground. I hate America so fucking much. And that's never been a secret. I'm a wide open book about that. I hate this country. I fucking hate it. So I don't like watching I don't like all these things that are happening, but I'm at the point now I'm like, fuck it, let it burn. I enjoy watching this fucking bitch burn to the fucking ground. Like, I hope that 5 years from now, the entire United States from sea to shining sea looks like the Gaza Strip. Like, I don't want to see one fucking wall left standing. No stone uncharred. Like, I want to see just nothing but fucking rubble and chaos and misery and hell from sea to shining sea across this whole land of the brave. There's no land of the brave. If this was the land of the brave and the home of the free, child molesters wouldn't be in charge of it. So let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. Land of the free, home of the brave. Go suck a dick. You got a bunch of fucking child molesters running everything now. Where's the brave and the free to do something about that? All they give a fuck about is beer and football. And I'm just sitting here watching it burn, and I'm like, fuck it. Fuck it. Because in my experience, I've been to the bottom of the barrel. If we're all going back down to the bottom together, I've already been there. I know how to deal with that. Most of you don't. It's going to be fun watching the people who've never seen the bottom of the barrel. Most of them are going to be most of them aren't going to make it when they hit rock bottom, when we all hit rock bottom, the great equalizer, when we're all living in the Gaza Strip trying to survive. Like, that's a different ball game, and I've already lived through that. I was in federal prison for a fucking Twitter post. I had to learn a few things, and and then I was forced to be homeless for 5 months by the federal government because they wouldn't let me move into a home. I had a place to live and they wouldn't let me live in it. So they were like, no, you can be homeless, you fucking piece of shit. So fine. Like, I've already been to the bottom of the barrel. So when when America burns to the fucking ground and this whole place is just rubble and ash and fuck everybody, it's a free for all shit show. I'm like, yeah, bring it. I don't care. I do not care. I'm not saying that I'll enjoy it, living it, but I'm enjoying watching it. There's two different aspects to it. I'm enjoying the collapse of America. It's been a long time coming. If we're going to let child molesters run the show, Jesus is like, all right, we're done here. I'm letting this motherfucker burn. Like, he may not come here in person yet and put a stop to it, but you can pray all you want, and Jesus ain't gonna fucking do nothing. Because he's like, no, I'm not gonna answer the prayers of people who want to let child molesters rule over them while they're too busy watching football and drinking beer. Sorry, but I got other things to do. um, Jesus ain't coming to save you, America. You're fucked. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. So what else can we talk about? I mean, shit, we're like 55 minutes in. And usually I'm here for 3 hours, and I'm out of coffee. Yep. I'm out of coffee. I got to switch to water. I'm going to have a headache. Whew. What else can we talk about, gang? I don't know. We got 3 people in the room today. As soon as you talk about Jeffrey Epstein's clients, I'm out of here. We could do some live shit posting on X. We could just go troll people live. I can pull that up like this. It's only going to be a few more weeks before I have more followers on X than YouTube. I'm at like almost if I had doubled down today and put another hour in on shit posting, I would have been at 750 today. I'm in like the 740s right now. If I go and look, if I go, let's see here. If we go to X and I log in and we look, and I'll just jump into the stats. $743 followers now. And that's up from like 500 just a couple of weeks ago. You can see my follows over time. Right about here, when you see the spike in followers, that's when I started to give a shit. And that's right at the time where I was like, April 27th, right here. You see the numbers are kind of low. You get a little spike here and there. But you get out of it what you put into it. And, it is, I do find that there are some secrets to the game here on X to actually grow an account. And I studied this. I listened to what other people had to say about it. People who are popular, who shared how they did it. And, but this is like my average right here. If I go to the 4-week thing here, you'll see I had this one day where I posted this meme of Jeffrey Epstein, and it took off 185,000 impressions in one day. And it was a reply on somebody else's post. And so I was like, all right, maybe I'll put some effort in on this. And ever since I decided, you can see like these 2 little stubby days here, I didn't do anything on those days. I didn't even I don't even think I logged into X on those days. But if I do, like today, I've got 30,000 impressions over my work today, and I put in an hour on it this morning. I worked, I'm going to call it work. Here's that fucking camera out of sync again, so I'm turning that off. I put in some work on this, and it resulted in an hour of work got 30,000 impressions and 21 new followers. And the thing is I'll get followers, but every day people will follow me because I'll post something about Trump, right? If we go to my profile or whatever, I'll post something that I basically show that I hate Trump. Like, oh, here's Benjamin Netanyahu won the Kentucky District 4 primary yesterday. And we got, Bill Gates and whatnot. But here, I'll post a bunch of crap in the replies. That's where the money is. And you can go check it out for yourself, the handle at X. In fact, put your X handles. This is what I didn't do last week, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to say this like 10 times today. If you are on X, put your handle here in the chat so I can go follow you right now, live. I want to follow all my people. I don't care if you follow me or not. I just want to follow everybody who has one here. Add to your follower count. So if you're on X, but Here I told Donald Trump, the White House, we're not dropping the Epstein thing. So I'll get a bunch of followers because they think I hate Trump. And then they come here and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the COVID or the MAGA cult. And so some people will get butthurt and they'll unfollow me because I'm not on their team all of a sudden. And then a Democrat will think, so a Democrat will come follow me because they think I'm anti-Trump, which I am. I hate Donald Trump. And they'll come follow me and I'll get 21 new followers in a day. But then 4 of those people will be like, oh my God, he's not on my team, because they'll see that I posted something about liberals. I'm trying to find one that I posted about a liberal. Here's Ken Paxton gave a child molester 30 days in prison for here's a lot of these child molesters get I got blocked by Dan Bongino right here. If you go to Dan Bongino couldn't handle my meme game. If I go to Dan Bongino and I try to reply, look at that. It says it right there at the top. It's going to be a little sluggish because I'm running so many apps. Yeah, Dan Bongino. That was my first major block from that's the big leagues right there. If I'm trying to get blocked by Cat Turd and all these other big names on X. If I could get Kash Patel to block me, if I could get the FBI to block me, that would be dope. That's my goal, is I'm trying to collect these like Pokemon. I got the Bongino. So we'll just see. But I'll post something somewhere about how it's gonna take, I'm on to go after the MAGA cult. Let's see. It's gonna take a minute. There's anti-Democrat shit all over here though. But that's why a bunch of anti-Trump memes. But then they'll come over to my profile and see that I hate the Democrats too. And now we can't be friends. Oh, there's lag here too. Oh, that's really lagging. I think it's this OBS. I might have to switch to StreamYard. That might be the next thing to try. I'm starting to think it's caused by this app that I use called OBS. I call it Footy Think. People over here vote explicitly for whatever political party they follow, no matter what they do, just like following their football side, no matter what. Yeah. Oh, and you're in a country where football is soccer. Yeah, because you gotta, when you call it footy. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the rest of, we have to call it soccer because we got this other retarded ass game that we call football, but nobody else calls it football. And here in America, we call it football, and it's where you pick up a ball with your hand and you throw it to somebody and carry it around the field with your hands. And sometimes, once in a while, you kick it. But that's football. Somehow that's football. I don't know. But here in America, you park in a driveway and you park in a driveway, but then you drive on a parkway here in America. And there's so many other retarded ass language rules here in America. But like here, here somebody will see, oh, old MAGA, new MAGA. Old MAGA, no wars, drain the swamp. Fuck, Trump turned the swamp into a protected wetland for pedophiles now. But he wanted to drain the swamp, affordable housing, invest in infrastructure, reduce healthcare costs, lower inflation and national debt, close the border. Now, new MAGA, endless Middle East wars, Americans die for Israel, bankrupt America, powerful APAC lobby and foreign influence. Here is boy, I do got to throw in some anti-Democrat memes. I've been neglecting my duty. Here's another, the MAGA cult right here. I guess I really can't do live shit posting because everything is really lagging and slow right now. Because I'm looking at the window of what you see, and it's like 10 seconds behind what I see and what I'm doing. So I honestly think this OBS app is the I may have to look into StreamYard and see if that helps. That might be my next thing to try. But anyway, old MAGA, no more wars, don't tread on me, America first, we hate pedophiles. Now, new MAGA, more wars, obey, send another 40 billion to Argentina, we love pedophiles. the MAGA cult. Whatever Trump tells you to believe, that's what you believe. Here we go. So here's what happens. The Democrats go, oh, he hates Donald Trump, I'm going to go follow him. And then they see, we are the Democrats, we believe in science, except for the chromosome thing, we don't believe in that one. And then they're like, oh, I'm not following this guy, he's not one of us. And then a Republican will see me post something like this about a transgender who, you know, and then they'll come and see Trump Back Mountain with Cat Turd and Donald Trump having a gay affair. And they'll be like, oh, I'm not following him, he's not MAGA. And so I'm right up front. I mean, I am like, I couldn't be more clear about it right here in the banner of my profile. I can't stand the Democrats or the fucking Republicans right there. I hate you all. So I could not make it any more clear. I could, but you only get so many characters to use in that description there. And so I had to go through a few tries before I could make what I wanted to say fit. And now, one of the problems I have now is if I want to change it, if I change anything here, change these pictures, change this text, if I change anything in this top area, X will pretty much lock my account for up to like 24 hours, take away the blue check mark and a bunch of other shit until like somebody goes and verifies it. You have to go through this whole process to change anything there. And so, but anyway, it is what it is. But I can actually make this grow. And from what I understand, if I start, oh, here we go, 7 minutes ago, Prime, you can get free shipping for the ticks on Amazon Prime if you want to, you know, drop some ticks. Why aren't anybody taking boxes full of ticks to Bill Gates' house? Just drop off some ticks at his house. See how he likes it. Nobody thought of that one yet? Like, everybody should just take a box of ticks and go drop it off in his yard. Throw it over the fucking fence or whatever. See how that motherfucker likes it. Oh, let him eat his bioengineered meat and take his vaccines. So I don't know. I do like how Thomas Massey said that he tried to concede to his opponent, but his opponent was somewhere in Tel Aviv and couldn't be found. I was like, well, at least you went out. At least you went out with giving no fucks, because that whole thing was a fucking con job. Donald Trump's out there saying that he wants to. Let's see if this. Nope, that camera don't work at all. And then that one's got a lot of light coming in the window. Okay. Wow. You're gonna see that for a few minutes. The sun's coming right in. Donald Trump's out there saying we got past that Save America Act. And it's like, you don't want to pass that. It's an act. The act is pretending you want to pass that shit. Because they're not doing anything to pass that. They're just talking about how they want to pass it. But then they don't do anything to pass it. Because they still want to be able to rig these elections. And so, like, they don't want to get rid of the mail-in ballots. Because that's part of their rigging election game. They can't. I'm trying to think here. I'm still trying to mess with this camera and see if I can fix it, but it's already fucked. We're just fucked for the day on that one. I like that camera, though. Like the video quality and such is pretty good. And when it works great. But it's not that I can fix. Nothing I can do about it. I can't debug it. The problem is the only way I can see whether it's working or not is to be on the live, because it doesn't start flaking out until I'm on the live stream. And so I could like, I live stream where I'm like, come one, come all, but all I'm doing is trying to fix my camera. But even this one's flaking out now, I think. I don't know. I got to close this window. I got to just, I think the temperature, oh my, up. I don't know. Hold off and turn it right back on and see if that fixes it. Did that fix it? Okay. I might just have to do that from time to time. See what that does. That one's already fucked. That one again. It's this fucking app, I tell you. It's definitely this. Fuck. It's definitely this OBS app. I don't know. You guys can, so foot in analog, AFL is referred to as footy, not soccer. So you guys watch American football over there. I don't know anybody. Fuck, man. Popular sport here in America on TV, I'm pretty sure. Which is, I don't understand it. I'm not a big sports ball guy, though. I mean, I watched bicycle races, and that's kind of hit them, because that's like a commitment, and like real. That's like, you know, bike races are like 6 hours a day. If it's a multi-day race, that's a lot to keep up with. I'm trying to think here. I think I got this. Pretty sure that this. I'm kind of like trying to debug. Yeah, this fucking thing's fucked. Hold on a sec. I think you guys can still hear me even if I quit this app. Let me see here. If I quit OBS, yes. And then I'm going to pop it back over a blank screen for a second. Now, I don't know if you can still hear me or not, because the microphone is not going through OBS. So here we are. We're back. And it's in sync again. And if I don't mess with the other camera, it should be okay. But I'm gonna Google this live, because like I said, the only time I can actually look into this is when the problem is happening. So and I'm just trying to figure, yeah. Everything is, all the suggested fixes I've already done. So it's kind of like, huh. Cameras frame 230 frames per second in OBS. Base canvas and output resolutions match the cameras. Yeah. Let me try one more thing. Well, I'm gonna talk to you guys, but I'm gonna turn off the camera for a second. I'm just gonna mess around with the settings again. I'm just gonna lower the frame rate. Well, I guess that doesn't work. So what about this settings? But I can't with the settings of the video quality without. Okay. 1280 by 720. 1280 by 720. I'm just going to go to a 720p. So, what if I change that to 30? Give that a bang and see what happens. Because that camera is set to that. All right, let me turn the virtual camera again. All right, we're in sync. I did notice it was set to 60 frames per second, which is overkill for a live stream. Let me see if this worked. Did this do anything? If I wave, it looks like it's kind of in sync now. I'm still going to go back to this. Let's see what we got. All right. I mean, I don't even have the camera. Neither of these cameras are set to 60 frame per second output, because that's ridiculous. My internet speed upload is fast enough for this, but okay. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens for a minute, and we'll just, I don't know. It's just, trial and error. It's live. There's nothing we can do except play and the sandbox and see if we can build a castle. And if high tide comes in, it's going to wash it away. And there's nothing you can do. It's nature. So this is the nature of this. But yeah, it looks a little better. It's definitely not as smooth, but I'd rather have 30 frame per second and have it in sync than, hey, running with scissors, what's going on? We're just talking. So, whatever anybody wants to talk about, throw in any random thing you want to put in the chat. I'll talk about. I'm cool. I didn't come correct today with a topic in hand or a topic to talk about. But, I said my piece about YouTube earlier, and I'm done with that. We're off topic. We're off that topic now. Trying to think of what else I could talk about. I'll talk about just the general update, because people always want to know, like, what's going on with Adam. The comeback story from going to federal prison for a Twitter post, followed by being forced to be homeless for 5 months, followed by putting a life back together, right? So the car. Talk about that for a second, because I've been talking about, I'm definitely not a fan of Volkswagen right now. I'm not. So this car, I'm pulling up a spreadsheet. Give me a second, just so I have reference to when I'm talking about this. Because I had to start tracking this. So I bought this car in September. A month later, something went wrong, and it was fairly major. It was electronics. It was a gateway control module. One of the main computer processors in the car had to be replaced. It was like $800. The Monday before the end of April. So when you get your registration here in Houston for your annual vehicle registration, it's in sync with the last time your emissions inspection was done. They got rid of car inspections. So I could go to the garage, I could be driving around with brakes that don't work, and, a whole jalopy that's held together with duct tape and coat hangers. They don't give a fuck about that. But the emissions, the smog, is what they don't want. You have to get an inspection for that every year. And all they're doing is checking to make sure there's no check engine light on your car. So it was like the end of April. It was however many days are in April. I don't know. I wish they'd make the months have the same number of days, but they don't. So whatever the Monday was, the last week of April, I'm driving home from the bakery, and I said, I've got to go to the auto garage tomorrow because my registration's expiring at the end of the month, because the inspection on my car when I bought the car was only good until the end of April. And so that's the most I could have my registration go. And so I have to get this emissions test. It's like $25. They do it while you sit there. It's not like you have to drop off your car. It's not super expensive or anything. So I'm on my way home from the bakery, and I said that out loud. I'm talking to myself, just, organizing my thoughts out loud. And I said, I got to go to the drop off my car to get inspected tomorrow. Boop, check engine light comes on. As soon as that fucking word came out of my mouth, that's a fail. You'll fail. So I get home, and I plugged in I have an ODB or OBD. I always get these confused every time. The ODB is the old dirty bastard from Wu-Tang Clan. OBD is the onboard diagnostic plug on the, under your dashboard of your computer or of your car, where you plug in a computer to see what the fuck's going on. So I wanted to know what the check engine light was. It said it was an oxygen sensor. I'm like, okay, or O2 sensor. And I'm like, all right. Said it was running too lean, but it could have been a bad sensor. And I'm like, probably a bad sensor. I cleared out the codes. Can't take it in for inspection now because I cleared out the codes. I got to drive at least 100 miles until all what's called the monitors systems are monitoring these sensors. This is something you can't clear out with your own computer. The monitors have to show a status of ready. So basically, if I took my car to the garage the next day, they're going to be like, oh, you cleared out the codes yourself. We can't give you, we can't pass you. You got to drive around until all the monitors are cleared out. So it means you have to drive 50 to 100 miles. So I put in about 100 miles and the check engine light came back on. This time I didn't even bother plugging in my computer to see what it was. I was just like, fuck it. I'll take it to the garage next week. And I'll just, anyway, I'm driving around and about 50 miles later, the check engine light goes off, turns off. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably that sensor flaking out. So not this past Monday, this week, the week before. I think so. I must have talked about this last Wednesday. But I'll just recap. I went to the bakery. I went to the grocery store after the bakery. I ran some other errands. No check engine light, no problems. I get all the way home. I pull into my parking spot here at the house. I put the car in park. And when I take my foot off the brake pedal, all these lights on my dashboard pop up. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this? So I plug the computer in and it says my throttle position sensor is bad. And I messed with it for a while. There are things I've got this tool that has all these options to reset all these. It's meant for Volkswagen, so it will do things that your standard code reader won't do. And so I went through the whole process to make it adaptation for the throttle position sensor, and I wanted to reset it. And it was throwing an error, and the tool was telling me I can't do it because there's an error. You can't have this error. The tool won't do the job. So I try to go for a drive. The car's in limp mode. It's in that limp mode where you can't go more than 5 miles an hour no matter how hard you hit the gas. And so I'm like, fuck, here we go. So Tuesday last week, I take it to the garage. I decided to take it to the same garage that fixed it last time. They're not bad people. I like them. But they're very busy and very they're kind of impersonal. I would rather find a little bit smaller shop where they're a little bit more human towards you, I guess. But they're not bad. I don't feel like I was being ripped off, but I dropped it off with them, told them everything, gave them all the codes and whatnot. 700 fucking bucks to get that one fixed. Throttle body. The throttle body had to be replaced. It's not a sensor that you have to replace the whole throttle body. So for the OEM Volkswagen part and the labor, it was 700 bucks. So now I've had 2 problems in 6 months that car cost me $700-800 each. Both of the times left me, I wouldn't say stranded. Here's what happened. I took it to the garage the next day. And there were no check engine lights, no error messages on the car at all. I drove all the way to the garage, and when I was pulling into the parking lot to the auto garage, the lights all came back on. It was almost like Jesus himself was like, I got you, brother. I'll let you get, he let me get where I needed to go. Both coming home from the bakery, he waited until I got home, and then the light came on. And it came on right when I got home and took my foot off the brake after putting it in park. It wasn't like the next time I go to drive, all of a sudden there's a problem. It was like he let me know right then. It was kind of weird. Like I'm telling you, that was a weird situation. And then the next day, all the problems were gone. I drove all the way to the garage, and then in the parking lot of the auto garage, the lights came back on and the car was limp mode again. So it let me go all the way there without any issue, no issues. So they replaced the throttle body and told me not to mess with the O2 sensors because if the throttle position sensor is out of whack, that could have been causing the O2 sensor to have bad because the engine might have been running lean because the throttle position was off. And so I paid for that to get done. I picked up the car. And I've driven over 100 miles probably, and I haven't had the problem. Like, it's been fine since I picked it up. No check engine light, no problems. But now here it's May 20th, and I still have to get the car inspected so that I can renew my registration. So I'm 20 days late. And normally that's not a big deal, but now Palantir, right? The AI, everywhere you go, they've got Palantir cameras watching you and recording everything about you. And all the cop cars have these cameras in them. So if a cop is behind me, the cop's already going to see on his computer screen, here's a convicted felon who's on federal probation driving around with an expired registration. Woo! Right? Like they're going to know everything about you before they even look. Like they don't have to look at your license plate or anything. The computer has a camera watching you. All your shit's coming up on that computer and telling the cop you need to pull this guy over. He's a convicted felon, 14 count convicted felon on federal probation driving around with an expired tag. Big fish, get him, get him. Like if the cop decides not to, that's on him. But his computer is going to see everything about me before he even looks at me. Because of Palantir, because of these cameras that they have built into everything now. When I pull into fucking Home Depot or any store now, there are these cameras on these towers with solar panels and shit in the middle of every parking lot now. And when you go in and out of these parking lots, they're reading your license plates, they're scanning your face, they're getting everything about you. And that's all going to the same fucking database for the cops to look at, and they know everything about you. So you got to be a lot more careful now with shit like that. And it is a roll of the dice. I mean, I've talked to people, they're like, yeah, I haven't renewed my registration for 5 years and I haven't been pulled over yet. Yet. But I also know a girl who got pulled over because her insurance they know if you paid your insurance on time. If your insurance lapses because you didn't pay the bill, they'll know. She got pulled over by a cop because it came up on the cop's license plate scanner computer Palantir system that her insurance was out of date. And she gave my friend a ticket. The cop gave my friend a ticket for that. And but it was because the cop's just driving down the road. Whoop, there's somebody driving around without insurance. Go pull them over. They know everything about you. They know everything about you before they even get out of the cop car because it all came up on the license plate scan. So I don't like being on federal probation and having that hanging over my head because, yeah, fine. If I'm not on federal probation and I get pulled over for something like that, it's no big deal. But in my case, that's a big fucking problem in my life. Just getting pulled, just talking to a police officer, if they write down my name, like say I'm a witness to a crime, I have to report to probation and tell them everything about it. Because if a cop puts my name in a computer, then my probation officer gets a fucking flag on her computer saying that I got into an entanglement. And now I'm going to have them, and I have like 24 hours to report this to them or I get in trouble. So the whole thing's fucked. And this AI shit's only going to get worse. They're building all these data centers and everything that they're building as a prison. They're building a nationwide prison, and we're all the prisoners now. And these are just the the control centers for the prison. The big, normally inside the prison, they have a control room full of TV screens where they're watching all the cameras and they can control all the locks and the doors from the control room. That's what the data center is. It's the control room for the nationwide prison that they're building around us right now. And so there's that. But anyway, I got the car fixed. But I always try to keep track of. I've done this a lot with vehicles that I've owned in the past, and this might be a handy tip for you. In fact, should I even? No, I probably shouldn't. I don't. I'm trying. I could share my screen, but I don't want like. Well, maybe if I go, no, I can't even move that off screen. All right, so yeah, I'm not going to share it. Is there stuff on here? It's just personal stuff. But I'll talk about it. So I've just every vehicle. So I had a long time ago. I had a Pontiac Grand Am GT, and I think that GT stood for giant turd. I don't know what else it would have stood for, but I had a Pontiac Grand Am GT, giant turd, and that was like the worst car I've ever had in my life. And the biggest problem with that car was it constantly broke down. And I'm telling you, like I couldn't go a month without having to take it into for something at the shop. And I mean $500 to $1,000 every time this thing broke down. And I started to add up the cost of keeping this car on the road. And it finally reached a point where it was more expensive to keep this car on the road than a car payment would have been for a new car. So I ditched it. I got rid of it. And in fact, when I got rid of it, it was on its, the transmission was about to blow. And somehow I limped it to a garage where I just happened to see a bright blue, brand new looking Jeep Cherokee, old school XJ, parked outside this used car lot. And I traded in that broken down jalopy of mine and about $4,000 and drove home with the Cherokee. So it all worked out. But in the Cherokee, I never had problems with. It's probably the most reliable vehicle I ever owned. But ever since, I always keep a spreadsheet simple. What did I pay for the vehicle? Add in the interest if you took out a loan, so that you know the total cost of owning that car. And then every time I have to get a repair done, like any repair, on the Volkswagen right now, I had to replace the battery. I had to replace the gateway control module and the fuel injection throttle body. So I've got all these repairs listed with what it costs to fix in a list. So now I know the total amount of money I've put into that car. And so what I'm trying to figure out is, what does this car cost me to own per month? Is it worse than having a car payment? And so if you kind of like when you first buy a car, especially if you paid cash, like I did, I paid $3,800 for the car. So after 1 month, it cost $3,800 per month to own that car because I bought the car and had it for a month, right? But if I didn't put any money into the car and repairs for 24 months, what would 3,800 divided by 24 would be? That'd be like 160 a month to own that car if I don't put any money into it. And so I'll do this with vehicles that I own. So I bought a Jeep Wrangler. I paid $17,000 for it. And then I tracked every repair. Didn't matter how, oil changes, repairs, and maintenance. Anything that's like that. I don't track insurance. I don't track renewing my registration, things like that. Inspection, yes. License and paperwork, no. Because that's any car. I just want to compare apples to apples. And so I had this Jeep Wrangler and I bought it for 17 grand. And I put repairs into it. I had this thing for a long time. And I also had a Mini Cooper that I bought for about 5,000. And over the course of now the Mini Cooper spent more time in the garage than the Jeep, but I had the Mini Cooper for like 5 or 6 years. But I didn't trust the Mini Cooper as much as the Jeep because things were always going wrong with it, but it was never like at a level where the car wasn't drivable either. It was just something would happen, I'd have to take it in. It spent more time in the garage than the Jeep. But the total cost of ownership and what it cost me per month during the total time I owned it, the Mini Cooper never even reached what the Jeep cost just to drive it off the lot. So, like, when you compare it that way, the Mini Cooper wasn't that bad of a car because I paid $5,000 for it. You know, you can add up I mean, maybe I put another $5,000 in repairs over a span of 6 years. But that was still $10,000 to have a car for 6 years. The Jeep was 17,000 when I drove it off the lot. Aside from whatever I had to fix it on it over the time I owned it, tires and brakes and even any of that stuff. And even though the Jeep was more reliable and didn't go to the shop as much and didn't cost as much to fix, it still cost more to own that. So, and you know, I'm not saying that like if I had to get rid of a vehicle, I got rid of the Mini Cooper and I kept the Jeep. And when I sold the Mini Cooper, I sold it for 4,000. So the difference between what I paid and what I sold it for was only $1,000. And then you add in what I spent on it, and it really wasn't that much, the cost of ownership. And I'm talking like I even added in, I took out a small loan for the Mini Cooper. I put like 2,000 out. I took a $3,000 loan out for that car and paid it off in 2 years. With a couple of balloon payments and just paid it off. But I did pay some interest, added that into the cost of it. It never even came close to the purchase price of the Jeep. But like I said, I wouldn't trust the Mini Cooper to go on a cross-country drive. I went on cross-country drives in the Jeep all the time. So I'm doing this with this car. And so I've had 2 major repairs. I don't know, major repairs. What's a major repair? Anything over 1,000. Like brakes, anything in like the 0 to 500 is like a maintenance level repair. 500 to 1,000, let's call it a medium. Anything over 1,000 is like a major repair. But they're $700, $800. That's still not good to have that twice in 6 months. So, yeah, the first month I owned the car, $3,800 to own it for a month, but I could have sold it for what I paid for it. I paid $3,800. I could probably sell that car for $4,000. So I could sell it for more. Now I've had it for 2 months. And when you added in the cost of ownership, because I had to buy a battery, trying to, I thought maybe the battery was bad. It was 1,967.53 per month because it was 2 months. So now I've owned that car for 7 months, but I've also put in repairs. And right now, if I don't put another dime in on that car, which I know that's not going to, it's going to need brakes, tires, things like that. But if I can go 24 months without putting another dollar into that car, it will still cost me $240 a month to own that car over that course of time. And then let's say if I sell the car, for $3,000-$4,000. Let's say if I sold the car for like $2,700, then the total cost of ownership per month for 2 years would be $130 a month when you factor in the money I get back from selling it. So I'm just I use those numbers as a way to tell me when the fuck is it time to actually ditch this car with actual numbers instead of just a feeling I got to go get a new car. So I'm kind of in that middle, not 100% sure what to do with this car yet. mode. Because, if I go another 6 months without a repair, that total cost, I mean, but that 240 a month is if I go the whole 24 months, 2 years from the purchase date without another repair from today, which that's not going to happen. So that is kind of creeping into car payment territory, but you also have to factor in if you buy a car and you have a car payment every month, that car is going to break down. That car is going to need new tires. That new car is going to need new brakes and bullshit and oil changes and everything else. So you got to keep that in mind. But this Volkswagen's right on that edge of. So I did this the last time, and I did this again today. Not today, but yesterday when I got the car back. I went to Capital One to look at their auto loans because they approved me a while back. And so when I was looking for a car in the first place, I went looking for Capital One and they wouldn't even approve me for a loan. And that was in like October, November 2024. They wouldn't even approve me for a loan. So last December, when my car broke down, or October, November, I went and applied for their pre-approval for a car loan. Now they approved me. But all the interest rates were really high, really bad. But I looked around. They have a website you can go shopping on. And the way Capital One works, I had a car loan from them in the past. If you find a car on their website and then you go and look at that car, you're pretty much guaranteed for the financing. And all you got to do is sign the paperwork and drive. They've already approved you for the loan. And it's real quick and easy to get the fuck out the door. Once you're at the dealership, you're basically rolling to the dealership with your own financing in hand already. So the only thing the dealer could do at that point is try to find you a better deal. But the last time I bought a vehicle, the dealer couldn't get me a better deal, and I ended up financing it with the financing I brought, what I brought myself from Capital One. And so I'm just like, whatever. So I checked in December and they would approve me, but the interest rates were ridiculous. So the only car that would even make sense to look for would be something really dirt cheap with a short-term loan. But I did bookmark a few, but I didn't go and I just wanted to be educated. I wasn't serious about going to get a car. I just wanted to see what's it going to cost. So this week I did it again. They approved me again. And they dropped the interest rates by like 6-7% from what it was last time I reached out. So my credit's getting better, but it's still not as good as it was the last time I actually bought a car from using them. But it was better. And so I bookmarked like 4 vehicles. I was like, if I want to get the vehicle that I want, if I'm going to take out a fucking loan for a car, I'm getting something that I actually want, not something that I'm going to settle for. If I got to make this payment every month, it's got to be something I actually want to own, not this Volkswagen was just the best deal I could find. Kind of, I had a budget. I got to try and find the best car for the budget, but I didn't have the luxury to get what I want. It was just, I had to get a car. So, the difference now is if I'm going to go take out a loan, I'm not taking out a loan for a car that I don't want, like period. Because you got to make that payment every month and it stings to begin with, let alone a stinger for a car you don't like is worse. So I bookmarked 4 vehicles. 2 of them were Jeep Wrangler. First thing I went to, I'm like, I want a 2-door Jeep Wrangler with a stick shift. What you got? And I bookmarked 2. But the monthly payments were going to be like $350, $400 a month. But one of those Wranglers had like 40,000 miles on it, which is pretty low. And it was like a 2016. Mine was a 2008. And I drove that thing until it had like 160,000 miles on it before the FBI came to my house. And I had really no problem. Now, a lot of those miles were long road trips. So it was more like I drove that Jeep long distance all the time. So it was probably in the condition of having 70, 80,000 miles on it, but the odometer reflected twice that. But all my trips were, I drove that thing thousands of miles at a time. So I'd go on road trips where I'd have to get an oil change on the trip. And so, um, so I'm looking at these Wranglers and I'm like, yeah, but that's still a lot of money for me right now. I'm broke. Like I'm 1,000 to air maybe today. Maybe let me look. I can kind of see here. Count list. No. This will tell me. No, I'm not. Fuck. I'm not even 1,000 air right now. I'm not even 1,000 air. Today, I'm not 1,000 air. Maybe by the end of the month, of this month, I'll be 1,000 air once again, but that's only going to be for like maybe a week. So I can become 1,000 air here and there right now, but I can't even keep that I can't even keep that in the fucking bank right now. So I don't want a car payment at all. But when your car shows up with a magical $700 bill out of the fucking blue on a Tuesday, like what's the fucking or you have a car payment for a reliable vehicle. I mean, at some point there's a trade-off, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best thing to do. And buying another car is a massive pain in my ass, but at least I know the Texas ways a little better now and I can navigate that shit a little bit better and easier. So anyway, I bookmarked 2 Jeep Wranglers because that's what I want. I want another 2-door Wrangler with a stick shift, hand crank windows, and no bullshit and frills. I want to be able to drive anywhere, go anywhere. I want to go back to that life. I want to be able to wave to the other Jeep drivers when we're going. I want to show up. I want to be able to park places and come back out and see a bunch of rubber ducks on my hood. I want to be the Jeep guy again. So I love having a Jeep. If I could only have one vehicle, it'd be a 2-door Wrangler. But that wasn't in the cards this last time I went vehicle shopping, because for a Jeep that you're going to get for like $5,000, if you thought my Volkswagen had problems, fuck, try getting a $5,000 Wrangler and see how many problems you have tomorrow. You're going to be in a lot. You're going to have a lot more problems on your hands than what I'm dealing with right now, and I can say that from experience. So, they do hold their resale value for a long time. And if you're down in the $5,000 range on a Jeep, fuck, you're getting 200,000 miles on it with a bunch of broken shit. That's basically what you're getting. So what else did I look at? I saw a Kia Forte, the sport version, the Jeep, whatever, I don't know, the sporty one. I've seen these around. They look nice. Stick shift. I only looked at I'm like, fuck it. If I buy a new vehicle, if I get a vehicle with a payment, I'm getting a stick shift. I hate automatics. I hate driving an automatic. The only time I've ever enjoyed having an automatic transmission was on my Nissan Frontier, but that was because I bought that truck to go on cross-country road trips, and I wanted a stick shift. I settled for the automatic. But when I started going on road trips with it, I was like, this is kind of perfect, because the way I was driving that truck was in cruise control mode all the time. Driving a stick shift on a 3,000 mile road trip can get old sometimes. It's not like that big of a deal, but sitting in traffic jams, things like that. I mean, it just that Nissan was great. I was glad that I had an automatic whenever I started getting into the more I drove that truck, the more I appreciated it. And it was fast. That thing had a very fast, that thing shifted like a race truck. That thing wasn't like your typical automatic that just sluggish and crappy. That thing could smoke my Mini Cooper in a drag race if it was a bare truck with no, I put a lot of weight on that truck building it out into a camper truck. But before I put the weight on that, when it was just an empty truck with a 6-foot bed and nothing in it, that thing was fast, super fast. I was shocked at how fast that truck was. And it would beat my Mini Cooper in a drag race. My son was like, "Holy shit." When I'd hit the gas in that truck, my son would be like, "Whoa," he wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it when I took it on a test drive. I was like, "Wow." So those Nissan Frontiers are pretty badass. I like them. But anyway, so I looked at nothing but stick shifts. I looked at a Kia. I marked that. Payments were like 300 a month, 250 maybe. But then I bookmarked this other car, a Fiat 500 pop base. And I already drove a Fiat 500 when I was looking at the vehicles. I almost bought a Fiat 500, but it was the SUV size one, the bigger one. But it was the pop means it's a stick shift with a turbocharged engine. And I drove that thing, and the thing was fun to drive. It was a lot like driving the Mini Cooper. I mean, they're basically the same kind of car, the hot hatchback. Well, on the Capital One website, there's a Fiat 500 turbo with a stick shift with 30,000 miles on it. And for whatever it costs, the payment would have been $150 a month. And that would be a car that I could drive all the way to Pittsburgh and back comfortably and feel like I can get there and back. A car with 30,000 miles on it, stick shift, simple. I mean, yeah, it's turbocharged, but other than that, whatever problems you're going to get from that. The one that I was looking at when I was looking for a car had like 47,000 miles on it, but we couldn't come to a price agreement. This one has 35,000, 37,000 maybe. So it's fairly new. I don't remember what year it is, but it's pretty new. But the payments would be $150 a month for the term of the loan. And I'm like, a little hot hatchback to zip around town with. I'm not doing anything that I need ground clearance. I don't need a Jeep. I just want one. I just want to be able to go in the woods. I want to be able to go drive across a fucking creek. Like here in Houston, I got this fucking river with 3 bridges going across. During the apocalypse, what if I can't cross the river? Because the bridges are gone. 2-door Wrangler, I can just drive across the fucking river and be done with it. The rivers aren't that deep. So I could do it. I already know it's a sandy bottom river. A Wrangler would go right across Spring Creek. No fucking problem at all. Zero. My old Jeep would have done, my stock Wrangler from back in the day would have done it. No problem at all. No problem. Maybe during a flood, it would have been a problem, but on a regular day at the regular water level, no problem at all. It's not even up to my waist. It's in the deepest part. It's up to my waist. That's like nothing for a Wrangler. The Wrangler wouldn't give a fuck. You wouldn't even need a snorkel or anything. You just drive across, come out the other side, go on your merry way. So we are in those times. We're in troubled times right now. And so I am kind of like, a Volkswagen Passat is not the vehicle you want to have during the apocalypse. I mean, that vehicle's, you're going to, if I'm trying to get from Houston to Pittsburgh during the fucking apocalypse, I'm probably going to be walking 1,200 miles and driving 300 before the car breaks down. A Wrangler might get me to Pittsburgh as long as I can get gas and all, let's just, apples to apples there. As long as I can get gas and actually have, and you can carry enough gas on a Wrangler to go a couple thousand miles. I mean, you can carry jerry cans on the back, spare back tire. You can put 2 jerry cans on the side. You can put you could have like 2, 4, you could have 5 jerry cans ready to go along with a full tank before you even leave the house. If you do it right. So you can carry enough gas on a Wrangler to get where you got to go. If you need to drive across the country without stopping for gas, you can do that. You get about 350 miles on a tank with one of those, unless you get the 4xe Wranglers, which only take 5 gallons in the gas tank and give you a 350-mile range, because the gas that the gas engine in a 4xe is a generator that charges the battery. It's an electric Jeep with a, but nobody would ever buy an electric Jeep Wrangler, because who's going to be out in the middle of the fucking wilderness with an electric Jeep with no way to plug it in and charge it? So they had to give you the ability to drive that thing with a tank of gas, but it's only 5 gallons. So you put a bunch of jerry cans on that thing, 2 on the sides, 1 on the back. Shit, you could probably go 4,000 miles on one of those. So, I mean, they are it's an interesting concept. I mean, they're wicked expensive, but if I was going to get an electric vehicle, that would be the one, because you can fill it up with gasoline and still get where you need to go. You don't got to wait for the Tesla charging station. But if you have a charging station at home, you can plug that shit in and never fill up your gas tank if you don't want to. Or you can basically fill up your gas tank with 5 gallons of gas and just let it sit. I mean, obviously you don't want it to sit for too long and get stale and crummy, but you can keep that thing topped off with electricity if you've got places to plug it in, and just burn your gas tank, as you need to. But you don't have to. It's not like trying to drive a Cybertruck across the country where you got to stop someplace and go shopping for an hour and a half while your fucking car charges or whatever it is now, and have to find the specific fucking charging stations and whatnot. There's a lot of gas stations to choose from. It's like having a regular vehicle. So, but that is an interesting thing that they're doing. I think that's the only electric vehicle I would even consider at this point. But a Fiat 500, hot hatchback, pretty much just like my Mini Cooper, 30,000 miles, let's say 40,000 miles on it, but it's under that. I think it's 37,000. I could get one of those, and my car payment would be $150 a month. My insurance would probably be my insurance would be more, because I would need full coverage if I have a loan. So I'd end up paying another $100 a month over what I pay now for insurance. So, but I mean, that's actually it's an option. It's an option. I'm not ready to go. I'm half tempted to go look at this Fiat, to be honest. But I also know that I'm trying to do other things. And I just don't want to have more financial stress and obligations than I need. But I'm telling you, this fucking Volkswagen goes dead one more time like that, where it's another surprise $700. Ta-da! Then I'm going to be like, all right, I'm getting another fucking car. Like, I'm not even going to mess around, because right now people are like, when are you going camping down in Galveston? So I want to go on a little camp trip, and I just want to go sit on the beach for a week, right? And I'm going to do the map. I'm going to pull up Google Maps now and just, Galveston Island State Park. So I'm going to go right to the campground. In fact, I'm going to go right to the restroom. Here we go. Campsite number 60, directions from home. Not walking, driving. Straight shot. I may have no tolls turned on. 82 miles each way. An hour and a half each way. So it's an hour and a half to go to Galveston and an hour and a half to come home. 82 miles each way. I don't trust my car enough to go there. Like, I have gotten to the point with this Volkswagen, I trust it to go to the bakery and back, to the grocery store and back, and go to the gym and back. And I sometimes go to my friend's house on the weekends when he's having a barbecue and back. That's it. I go to the gym. I go to my friend's house. I go to the bakery. I go to the grocery store. And occasionally I go somewhere else here and there as I need to do this or that. That's what and I barely trust the car to do that. I barely trust this Volkswagen to do that. And this car isn't in that bad a shape. Like, my best friend was looking at it the other day. He really didn't take a close look at the car when I bought it, but he gave me a microwave. You see that in the background. Well, it's covered in water bottles right now, but I got a microwave and an air fryer recently. But my friend gave me the microwave. It's just a cheap microwave, but they had it in their garage. They weren't using it. He goes, "Hey, can you use a microwave?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't even use it, but it's there. I think I warmed something up with it once, but I'm not a microwave guy. I don't like cooking with them, but it's nice to have. I mean, I've been using that air fryer like crazy. That air fryer is a game changer. So some people, Blue Sky and other people here on the channel were telling me to get an air fryer, and Amazon let me do a monthly payment for a $50 air fryer. So I'm paying like 15 a month, no interest. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get an air fryer. Why not? And so, but yeah, the air fryer is great. I've been doing these chicken tenders. I've been doing these, this one chicken tender recipe is banging. It's a great thing to eat, especially if I'm going to start going to the gym again tomorrow. I think I've taken about a month off for different reasons. And that is going to be my go-to, making these chicken tenders in the air fryer with chicken tenderloins, boneless, skinless chicken tenderloins in a pack. I can do a whole pack in 2 rounds, 10 minutes each round, because it's a small air fryer. They come out great. And I make some I have like different dipping sauces that I can either make, or I have some, I can just put some in a portion cup and have dinner ready to go in 20 minutes coming home from the gym without me doing anything other than putting the chicken in the air fryer, putting some spices on it. That's it. Spraying it I got a little olive oil or avocado oil sprayer to spray them down and then season them up, and then boom, they come out nice and crispy. I do got to get some baking powder. That'll make it even better. But that's the only thing missing. But yeah, the air fryer is a game changer. I'll be using that all the time. That'll help me with my weight loss goals, I think. But my friend was checking out the Volkswagen that when we were putting the microwave in the back seat. He's like, "Man, this is a nice car," and blah blah blah, because it looks like it's a real nice car. And it really doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. Like you lift up the hood, everything's clean. It's a clean, nice looking car. It'll be easy to sell. As long as the car is running, and I'll have the maintenance records of what I've done to it. But I mean, it's had at least 2 or 3 other owners. So it'll be easy to sell the car as long as the car's not flaking out and problematic, like something's made. As long as it can be started and driven, it's a solid car. Then whoever buys it within a week or 2 is going to start finding out everything that's wrong with it. But then they're going to have to be like, "I paid $3,000 for a car, so what do you expect?" So, but I don't trust this freaking car to go to Galveston and back. I don't want to be 85 miles from home and have to get towed. And so that's kind of holding me back a little bit. But I also know that, the good Lord does kind of watch out for me. And so that's not going to stop me from going on a little camp trip when I get around to it here. But it's definitely on my mind, and it's definitely having an effect on my willingness to take the risk. Plus, I'm just really busy. I'm really, really busy right now. And I'm just trying to get through the end of probation without any hassles. And I think, I know I talked about this last week. My last probation officer came to see me 3 times the whole year of 2025. 2 of those times was because I moved. And they were required to come visit me both times that I moved. And then he came one more time at the very end of the year. And he came to the front door and he just talked to me for 5 minutes. And he said they're putting me on the lowest threat level, and I'll probably never hear from them again. I'll have a new probation officer, and after I meet her, I'll probably never hear from them again. As long as I stay out of trouble, my probation will expire and I'll be on my merry way. Well, this new probation officer took over, and she bothers me like every week. Like once a month. I mean, I've been her. I can't say I've been harassed. She's very friendly and easy to work with, but she's up my ass about something like constantly. And it's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I knew this would happen, that like they'll leave you alone because prison's a business in America and businesses don't run on empty beds. So they want to get you back into that prison. But they want to maximize it. So I had a feeling that the closer I get to being done with probation, the more and more they're going to try and start tripping me up and try to find a reason to send me back to prison. Like they'll get you, like you'll be a month away from being free. And all of a sudden, I have a feeling that like they're going to start ramping shit up on me a couple of months before the finish line, because they know that they don't want empty beds in the jails, because the Bush family and all these people in charge, the pedophiles that run America, that's one of their big cash cows is the prison system. And you look at who owns all the private prisons and the industries around prison. It's all the people that fill the prisons are the ones that make the money off of it. So they got to keep those beds full. Empty beds, empty wallets. So it's a system, and you get caught into that shit, and they're not going to let go of you very easily. And so I'm just kind of like bracing for what are they going to try and do when I'm 3 months away from the finish line to try and like send me back. And but if you were in my shoes, you'd be thinking the same thing. Because you watched it. You see, this is what these people do. This is their modus operandi. This is how they roll. And so I don't know what to expect. I just know that I'm trying out this camera for a minute. It looks like it's in sync. Looks like we're in good shape here. But I mean, this is how these guys roll. And but anyway, I got that on my mind. And so I'm just trying to keep my head down and get to the fucking finish line so I can get on with my life and take it to another level. And in the meantime, just accomplish whatever I can accomplish. So that's the update on the car. That's the update on like what's going on around the house. I can tell you, you've been seeing me go like this during some of the live streams because of these little fruit flies and gnats that are coming around the house. And I'm going to tell you, I've done 7 different things trying to get rid of these damn things. Let me count. Let me list them all out. All right, so I've got these tennis racket things, the fly swatter tennis rackets, except the ones that I have light up, so that draws them in. The bug zappers, you'll hear them in the background popping here and there during some of these live streams. Well, I had one. I got 2 more in a 2-pack from Amazon, and I've put them in different places around the house. And so that's number 1. Number 2, what's the next thing I did? I got a house plant spray to spray the house plants on the leaves and stuff so that if they land on the plants, they die from that. That's number 2. Number 3, what did I get? Okay, so I got like mosquito bits, they're called. You know, they got these like donut things that you can drop in stagnant water. That's like this little donut shaped thing. You put it in a pond, you put it in water outside. It kills all the mosquitoes and the larvae inside the water, but it's safe for animals and plants and stuff, or it's supposed to be safe for animals and stuff. I'm not drinking the water, but it's supposed to be safe. So I got some of that, but the granule stuff. And so what you're supposed to do is mix that up. So I mix a gallon of that, put it in a sprayer, and then I spray the plants. When it's time to water my plants, I water them with that water. And what it's supposed to do, it's safe for the plants, but it's not safe for any larvae or any of these gnats that may have laid eggs or have anything going on inside the soil of your house plants. It wipes them out. So that's number 3. That's 3 things so far. What was number 4? Okay, so I got some stuff to put down the drains. Some goop that you pour down the drains for the sink, the bathtub, and the bathroom sink. So I've got that in play. Then I've got, what else did I do? It's hard to keep track of all this crap. Okay, I got these little sticky traps. They're yellow. You put them in your house plants, and they're on these like stems, and they look like little leaves, right? They're these real sticky things, and they're bright yellow. And you stick them on this stick, and you put them in your house plants. And so if they're flying around your house plants, they'll get attracted to the yellow sticky stuff. And I'm catching them. I'm seeing them on there. So is that? Let's see. So we got the spray, the tennis rackets, the drain stuff, the spray, the tennis rackets, the drain stuff, the sticky traps. What was the other thing? I know I was up to 5. I can't even keep track of it. It's crazy. I would have to sit here and take notes. So let's see. 1, sticky traps. 2, drain stuff. 3 was the tennis rackets. Bug zappers. Number 4 was the leaf spray. What was the next one? I know I listed 5 and I can't remember what the 5th one was. The drain stuff, sticky traps, tennis rackets, leaf spray. Oh, the mosquito bits. Okay, so then there's what else? I tried. So there's more stuff. I've been going because these things are driving me insane. And it only takes 1 or 2 in the room. Yesterday I was in a Zoom meeting, right? And I'm talking, and this one, it just kept flying right in front of me, right in front of my eye. They try to get in your eyeballs, they try to go up your nose, they go in your ears, and so I'm talking to somebody on a Zoom meeting, and all of a sudden I'm like, it went right into my mouth, all the way to the back of my throat, and stuck on the back of my fucking throat. I just ate one of these things in the middle of a Zoom meeting with a client. And he's laughing. He's like, he said he saw it on the camera go in. And I'm like, I'm drinking like half a gallon of water and I can't get the damn thing to go down my throat. I'm like, at this point, it's just protein. Like it's not like, you just have to swallow it. It is what it is. And so what else have I tried? Because I know I'm missing something. Because I know I did 7 things and I've listed out 5. Well, anyway, I don't know what the 6th thing is, but the 7th thing that I fucking did is the banger. It's the one that actually, I think it's the key. Because I'll get them down to where they're almost gone. 6. Taro makes fruit fly traps. And they look like tiny little apples. And they have this pre-made solution that you put in there. But all it is apple cider vinegar mixed with a little dish soap. So you can break them apart. And so I wash them out and I'll just refill them from time to time. And I'll put them on the windowsills and I will catch them and they will go in there. So that's number 6 is the Taro fruit fly traps. But I keep the traps, I wash them out, and then I refill them with apple cider vinegar and soap, little drop of dish soap, and then I set them on the windowsills all over the place and let them do their job. So these are 6 different things that I'm doing, and the population of these bugs will go almost to 0. Maybe you'll see 1 or 2 flying around during the day, and then like 5 or 6 days later, they're back. And so I'm just keep getting more aggressive and more aggressive and more aggressive with these things. Well, I was on Amazon the other day and I tried this. I'm going to share my screen because I'm getting another one of these for sure. I was so skeptical about this, and I'm telling you, out of all the shit I've done, this has been the best by far. This thing's crazy good. All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. This thing here, Zevo flying insect trap. It's a light. It's like a night light. You plug it into an outlet, and on the back side of this light, it's got this sticky tape. And so the light attracts them, just like these tennis racket things that I have, but they go up in there and then they get stuck on the sticky side of the trap. And now I had these, not this brand, but I had something like this at my old house in Pennsylvania whenever I would deal with these things. And they didn't work worth a crap. And I sent them back and I returned them. Not this brand. This brand is legit. I plugged this thing in yesterday afternoon, and that sticky trap, when I looked at it this afternoon, it's covered in them. Like, this thing got more of them than all 6 of those. The sticky traps that you put in the plants, the drain stuff that you pour down the drains, the tennis racket bug zappers that have lights built in, of which I have 3, the stuff you spray on the leaves of your house plants, the mosquito bits that you mix with the water and water your house plants with, and the fruit fly traps, all combined did not catch as many of these things as this thing that you plug into the wall did in one day, one night. This thing was on overnight. I came out this morning. I was like, holy shit. And they're gone. I've had like maybe 2 flying around today. 2. Like, one of them got, like, because when I sit in front of my computer and I have the light turned on, let's see. This is what the thing looked like. This is what it looked like today on the back side of that trap. And I'm like, the only thing that kind of sucked is it's pretty bright light, and it was like, I like to sleep in the dark, and I left it plugged in the kitchen overnight, and that light bleeds into the bedroom. So that was a little annoying. Trade worth it. Totally worth the trade-off, because this thing did the job. I'm telling you, this alone was better than all 6 of the other things I tried. And when I was living in that house in Mercer, in Pennsylvania, and I'd get fruit flies from time to time, I had something that was like this that didn't work worth a crap. And I returned them to Amazon because I was so disappointed with them after a few weeks. This thing, totally different story. I'm getting another one to put in my bathroom because they're the only 2 places where I have an outlet where I can use them. And I'm getting a whole bunch of the refill things. Whatever frequency of light these things use that says it uses ultraviolet light along with another wavelength, it's crazy how much they went straight for it. And the difference from yesterday to today with those gnats or fruit flies or whatever they are is dramatic. Like, very, like, wow. Like, these things were the shit. So I am 100% sold in one day from this. And if I would have known, I would have started out with these and been done with it. But it is what it is. Pest control has been a fucking issue this year for sure. Now that it's summer. And oh man, it's been bad this year. And I have dropped a penny on fucking. I can deal with the only thing I haven't had in my house yet is scorpions. And I've had people tell me they get scorpions in their house. And I'm like, oh, great. When's that going to be my problem? No mice. We have stray cats. I feed the stray cats. Whenever they're around my house, I take out food. I'm like, just a little bit. Not enough enough that they won't die, but enough that they won't be dependent on me, because I haven't seen a mouse. I haven't seen a mouse since I've lived here in Texas. I haven't seen a mouse here 100%. I don't think a mouse would want to come anywhere near this property because there's so many stray cats running around that I'm like, yeah, keep them around. They have a use. Cats, stray cats on your around you. Feed them, because they're doing a job for you. You won't have snakes, rats, mice. You won't have any of that shit because they don't. Cats. They see a cat, they're not gonna want to be around. So that's a trick. That's a handy thing if you live out in the country or you live someplace where you got random cats running around. Let them feed them. A bag of cat food at the grocery store every now and then is worth it to not have fucking rodents and lizards. Well, I do have lizards here, but they don't come in the house. But I see them outside. But the bugs, oh my fucking God, fire ants, all kinds of bugs. The only bug I haven't seen yet is the black widow spider and scorpions. So I'm like, what day am I going to wake up and there's a scorpion on my fucking bed or some crazy shit like that? That might be the day where I'm like, all right, time to move back up north where these things can't live. I don't know, man, because I know somebody was telling me she has scorpions in her house and she can't get rid of them. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Scorpions in your house. So what do you do about that? I guess you got to get scorpion fucking poison and traps. And oh, I couldn't even imagine. I put these sticky traps around the house under cabinets and stuff like that just to trap whatever they can get. If I fucking pulled one of those out and saw scorpions, I'd be like, yo! I'd be freaked the fuck out. I'm already freaked out some of the bugs I see down here, but I haven't seen a scorpion yet. I'm not looking. Fire ants, yeah, they're everywhere. Scorpions, I haven't had that pleasure yet of seeing any of those, and I certainly haven't seen any of Bill Gates's ticks running around, trying to bite me so that I can't eat red meat anymore. I haven't had that one yet. So I do go out to the woods. I do go hiking. So I'll definitely I'm getting some what do you fucking use? There's spray that you can spray on your clothes. Permethrin, permethrin. I think you pronounce it permethrin. You spray it on your clothing. Wear long sleeves. Wear jeans. Don't wear shorts when you go hiking in tick country. But permethrin you can spray that shit on your clothes, and you can wash your clothes like 6 times before you got to spray your clothes with it again. So have outfits like if you go like I used to, all my camping gear, all my camping clothing, I used to just spray with permethrin all the time and just let it dry, pack it up, put it in my camping gear, like my backpacking kits and my camping bags and stuff. All of our clothes that we wear in the woods would be sprayed with that stuff. And that like a good size spray bottle of that's good for at least a year. It comes in like the size bottle that a Windex spray bottle would be. And you can get a lot of clothing with one of those. And you don't have to lay it on too thick. You don't want to put it on your body, and you don't want it wet when you put the clothes. Like you want that, you got to lay your clothes out in the sun, let them dry. But once that stuff's in the fibers, it's a repellent. The ticks and other insects do not want to be around that. And you're pretty much protected for several washings before you got to treat your clothing again. So definitely, you're definitely going to want that shit right now. Now that Bill Gates is dropping off ticks all over the country, trying to make you all sick. Little handy tip there. Let me just see what permethrin spray right here. This one. This is the one I used to get. I'll show you guys. I'm not making any money. I mean, I could. Well, you know what? I could. Here you go. Click the link. Oh, no, not that one. What the fuck? Here it is. Here you go. Click on that and then go buy some. What the? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, click on that Amazon link and then go buy something else and I'll get $1. I'll get 50 cents or whatever. But this is what you want. I'll share my screen. This permethrin. You just treats 5 outfits. You get a little more than that. It's like the size of a Windex bottle. Actually, with shrinkflation, these do look like shrinkflation, to be honest. 24 ounces. boy, they do look smaller because I'm looking at the spray compared to the bottle. It used to be bigger. I can tell you that. It used to be the size of a freaking it, what do we got here? Yeah, it used to be bigger than that. So they're fucking you. They definitely shrinkflation hit the tick spray. 24 ounce is the biggest one. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, put that stuff on your clothes and it'll greatly reduce the amount of ticks that you'll have to deal with out in the woods. I used to live in some heavy, heavy tick land. The woods around my house, even before Bill Gates was dropping ticks off in the woods every spring, right around, I would say in April, May, they starting to die down. But in April every year, you could not go in the woods behind my house without being. I mean, one time we came back from the woods and my son, when I inspected him for ticks, there were like 20 or 30 on him. It was bad, and they were all over me, and I was picking them off of me. I didn't get bit by some of them, but I could get bit being in my office. They would find their way into my office, and all of a sudden I'd feel one on my neck. And I mean, I've had tick bites. I'd get tick bites at that house one or two times. One time I had a tick bite. It took 2 years for it to go away, for it to stop itching and to stop being a lump on my chest or wherever it was. Like it was like on my, I don't know where it was. It was either like somewhere on my shoulder, like chest area. Um, by the time I found it, because you don't feel them when they're biting you. By the time I found the thing, I didn't have the bullseye. I didn't get sick. I didn't get Lyme disease or none of that. But when you get bit by a tick, if they have time to latch on and really like dig in, that shit will stay on your body for like 2 years. Like that shit would not heal. It would not just go away like a mosquito bite. That was like 2 years of seeing this tick bite on me before it was finally gone. 2 years of not getting bit by a tick again in the same spot. Bad. If you can get them quick, a lot of times I'd feel them on my neck and I'd be like, oh, and I'd have them. And they don't even die. You can crush these things in your hand and they won't die and they'll just try to crawl. They're horrible, horrible. But we used to have them at our house. We used to have them out in the woods out in Pennsylvania. And from about April, the month of April was bad. My neighbors had guinea fowl and they would come up, we let their guinea fowl have free reign all over our property too. And so that would help a little bit. But they were really bad where I lived. You definitely did not want to go hiking in the woods by my house. Other woods were fine. I don't know. There was something about the woods where I lived that had a really bad tick problem. I've never seen it that bad before or since. And if you went to the wrong, me and my son would go hiking back in the woods. And if we went to the wrong spot, we'd come back to the house covered in ticks. Like not just a couple, but like, holy shit. Like you gotta like start a bonfire outside and just burn your clothes. Bad. Oh my God. And I'd have to like, we'd have to be diligent. And, but now with the Bill Gates ticks that are being dropped off all over the country, that's fucking wild. Like makes me, I mean, it's to make you not want to go outside. And, obviously Bill Gates doesn't want you eating meat anymore. So he can sell you his bullshit fake meat or whatever he's doing and fill you full of vaccines and whatnot. So he's already said in a TED talk that he wants to kill. I don't know. He said if they do a really good job with the vaccines, they can reduce the world's population. Like, well, I'm going to find this exact quote. Oh, let's see. I'm going to find it. Of course, all the search results in Google say that's not what he meant. Actually, I got to ask Grok because that's the only one that's going to give me an honest answer. We can find. All right, yeah, it's a Bill Gates was like, first we have the got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really good job on new vaccines, we can lower that, perhaps 10 or 15%. He's already come out and said in a TED talk he wants to kill 10 to 15% of us with vaccines. And of course they all try to explain it away, saying that he didn't mean that. Yes, he did. I mean, just watch what this asshole does. He's having ticks sent around the country to be dropped off in farmers' fields to kill off all the livestock and make everybody sick now. And everybody knows he's the one doing it. So, but like, we're not going to arrest any of these people for raping children. So now they've discovered we can do whatever the fuck we want to you, dumbass slaves. Land of the free. Remember what I was saying earlier in today's show, land of the free, home of the brave. Well, there's nobody here is brave enough to be free. Because if there was anybody in this country was brave, all those child molesters in charge would be dead. They'd be hanging from ropes, or they would be spending the rest of their life in a prison cell or a dog cage in Guantanamo Bay or something for raping children alone. We can't even, we have their list. They have the list of everybody who raped kids at Jeffrey Epstein's house. And we can't do nothing about that. So they're not, they figured it out. They're like, we can do whatever the fuck we want to you, stupid motherfuckers. And you're not going to do anything to us. So that's what they're going to keep doing. What are they going to do? Whatever the fuck they want. That's what they're going to do because they can. That's why. They know they can do whatever they want and we won't do anything to them. So. So I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about. People aren't very chatty tonight in the chat, but that's okay. Let's see what else is going on here at the crib. So with the videos, the long form videos, I'm putting up another one tomorrow. It was like day 34 of that 35-day challenge. And then I shot one more video after day 35 on the Saturday, which day 35 fell on a Friday. And I worked until about 2, 3 in the afternoon. And then we all went to the Dave Matthews concert. So that was a perfect like finale to that challenge that I didn't plan. I couldn't have planned it. I never thought, I never put it together like, oh, that if I do the 35-day challenge starting today, it'll end on that day. Like, I knew there was a concert. I knew the date, but I didn't like put all that together. And I wasn't even going to go to that show. The only reason I went is because my best friend called me the day before and he said, hey, you want to go to that show tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, because he didn't want to go either. But at the last minute, he changed his mind. And he was just like, hasn't had a boys' night out in a long time. And he just paid off his truck he paid a balloon payment. And so, yeah, they did play Gravedigger that night, too. That's one of my favorite songs. In fact, during my funeral, if I ever have like, not that anybody's going to show up to my funeral, like nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives enough of a shit about me to show up to a funeral if I die. And I don't care because I'm dead. Like, I don't give a shit. But if I had a playlist at my funeral, Stairway to Heaven, Gravedigger, there'd be a few other songs I would throw on there. I have a Spotify playlist in my account buried somewhere songs for my funeral. And those two songs are in it. I don't know what other songs are in there, but there's a few. There's actually a few Dave Matthews songs, live versions, not same with Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven's a live version. I think all the music for my funeral should be live jams with the crowd noise blended together between tracks, so with like 2 seconds of overlap. um Raining Blood by Slayer, that one didn't quite make it, but I don't know if I don't think there's any metal. It's all laid back jams. Um, it's supposed to make people cry, you know. Fuck them. But I don't know. I'm the way I you got two way. We were talking about this a couple shows ago, right? That there's more. There's two ways you can die today. One, you find out you've got cancer and you lay around on a fucking hospice bed for 6 months waiting for the day, right? But that's how my parents went. Both of my parents, we were talking about aspartame earlier in the show today, and I'm editing videos for a client from a psychiatrist who was on 60 Minutes, interviewed by Mike Wallace. I can put a link to the videos while we talk here. Hold on. If you want to see this stuff, the full videos, give me a second. I can send you a page that has both videos on it. Yes. Okay. Right here. Go to that URL that I just pasted. And there's two videos there. One is my client interviewing the guy on the right, which is the psychiatrist. And then the next video on the page is an in-depth interview with that psychiatrist at this place called the Chautauqua Institution in Jamestown. It's a famous place. That's a whole nother conversation. But he was on 60 Minutes with Mike Wallace exposing aspartame back in the day. And that video intersperses the 60 Minutes clips with a more in-depth interview. So there's a lot of stuff to chew on with those two videos there. And crap, I don't even like I just lost track of what I was why was I even talking about that? Oh, cancer. So so both of my parents drank Diet Coke like that shit was water. You're supposed to drink 60 ounces of water a day. My parents didn't. I don't think my parents ever drank a glass of water. They drank 60 ounces of Diet Coke every day. Lo and behold, both of them died from pancreatic cancer. Right? Didn't see that one coming. They both died the same way, drinking nothing but Diet Coke for 20 fucking years straight. And my stepdad spent the last 6 months of his life laying on a hospice bed at the house watching I Love the 80s reruns on VH1. And my mom's was a little more sudden and fast, but she spent the last month or two of her life sitting in a recliner chair in the living room watching Reba on TNN, coloring in a fucking coloring book for a couple of months. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going out like that. Fuck. Well, first of all, if I find out I have cancer, I'm not going to the Roswell Treatment Center or the fucking chemotherapy. I'm not doing none of that shit. Why? Because I know it doesn't work and they're just going to be bleeding money out of me or some insurance company or whatever. They're just looking at a dollar sign above my head as I'm walking around like I'm one of the Sims in that video game. I'm going to Central Tractor. I'm getting some fucking horse paste. $15. I'm coming home. 3 weeks later, my cancer will be gone. Good to go. That's what I'm doing. And if I'm wrong and that shit doesn't work, really, did I lose anything? No, because I was going to die anyway. Because the shit that the doctor's going to give me sure ain't going to fucking work. So what's the... I'm not really rolling the dice to go down to Central Tractor and pick up the horse paste for that. I'm good. I'll do it. I've already made up my mind on that one. A lot of people. I had a nurse who worked in the hospital And she was a high paid nurse, not some like phlebotomist, but like some like almost doctor nurse. She was like, yeah, they all fucking know. And they're all lying to you because it's all big cash cow for them. They don't want you to know that the cure for cancer costs $10 down at Central Tractor. Because there's going to lose a lot of fucking money when that shit comes out. And that's why she quit being a nurse. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to name names. And that actually reminds me, I was talking earlier, if the OGs, if you've been in the house since the beginning of the show today, I was talking about being in the video, being in these meetings with all these YouTube assholes. And I had the perfect example of why I keep my mouth shut and I don't interact with these people, because they're a bunch of dirtbags and I'm like sick and tired of it. And they're not my crowd. I'm in this room with like 60 people in a Zoom meeting and they're all like the last people on earth I'd ever want to spend any time with. Like one guy was talking about his channel one day. He's 40 fucking 5 years old and his channel is playing Roblox. You know, if you know what Roblox is, it's a little kid's video game. So he's 45 years old. He's got a YouTube channel playing a fucking video game for little kids. But it's a video game where 45-year-old dudes go and find little boys to rape, to meet up with them in public and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, yeah, like this is why I don't fucking participate when I'm in these fucking, because it's the whole room's full of these people. Liberals, these blue-haired fucking piece of shit Democrat liberals are the ones in charge of YouTube, and I fucking hate them. And we've already discussed how much I hate Donald Trump and all the Republican red hat retards in the MAGA cult. So I don't have very many friends because I don't fucking like any of them. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, we're not friends. Period. We're not going to get along. Period. If you're someone who doesn't give a shit and you don't pay any attention to politics, or you're someone that realizes both of these parties are just the same and they're all a bunch of corrupt, child molesting, satanic worshiping scumbags, then we're going to get along just fine. You're all here. I see the number 8 is still on the counter. It didn't go down when I said that, so we're all tight here. We're all sitting around the campfire having a good time. So, this woman yesterday in the fucking YouTube meeting, there's only 5 of us in the room. We're all talking, just talking about our channels or just sharing information. I was talking about making shorts. This woman chimes in and she is exactly the most smug, conceited, liberal piece of shit, COVID mask wearing Karen that you know exactly who you're picturing when I'm talking about her. She was the most. I had to turn off my camera because the face that I was making and the things that were coming out of my mouth listening to her talk. I didn't want everybody in the room seeing me, how disgusted I was with this fucking wench when she was running her fucking mouth. But her whole channel on YouTube is discrediting people who spread misinformation about the medical industry. And she says that she actively pursues people who dish out medical disinformation like me. Because I told you, if I get cancer, I'm not going to the fucking doctor. I'm going to Central Tractor to fix that shit. I'm not going to the fucking doctor. I waited 8 weeks after I broke my arm to go see a doctor for that. If I find out I got cancer, I'm going to get the horse paste. I've already made up my mind. And I don't have to hide it. And I'm not going to shut my mouth and dance around because the people that are curing their cancer with that shit, they can't talk about it on YouTube or YouTube will kick them off the platform. I don't give a fuck. Kick me off. I don't care. The YouTube doesn't kick me off. They just let me have 1,200 subscribers and don't let me get a new subscriber for 20 months straight. That's how they're dealing with me. But this woman, she was very smug, arrogant, just a complete asshole. And I was just like, I had to turn off my camera because I was obviously like, you are a fucking cunt. I was calling her a fucking cunt. And I'm like, I just don't need this drama today. I'm hardly not even paying attention to this, but She chases after people on YouTube so that she can tattle on them, get their channels kicked off of YouTube, and then she files lawsuits and drags these people into court for spreading misinformation about medical treatments. And that's her whole channel is about that, about who she's attacking this week because somebody said something that's medical disinformation. So she might be listening to me right now talking about how if I get cancer, I'm going to Central Tractor for the cure. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to get a fucking cease and desist letter in the mail from her lawyer, and I'm going to have to go to fucking Virginia because I'm getting sued for $2 million. And then she's going to tattle on YouTube and have me. And she is like this, like she was exactly the fucking cunt, the Karen from the fucking cul-de-sac that shows up at your door to give you a $200 fine for having the wrong color garbage can at the end of your driveway. Like, she was a fucking cunt. And I'm not saying she was a fucking cunt. And I was like, oh my God, you are one of the most horrible human beings I've had to listen to in like months, listening to her talk during this meeting. But that every time I go to one of these YouTube meetings, that's who's there. I got the fucking 45-year-old guy, child molester, trying to pick up little boys on Roblox, and that's his fucking YouTube channel. This other woman tattling on people for not wearing their fucking COVID mask and showing their vaccine card to go to the fucking restaurant. Probably some fucking dude wearing a dress who cut off his dick last week and wants everybody to call him a woman, a brave woman. Like these are not my crowd. This isn't my crowd. So that's why I don't interact with them. I don't talk to them. I don't want to get to know them. They're a bunch of fucking dirtbags. Or it'll be some fucking woman, some girl who fucking goes out and buys a $1,200 hobo outfit to go walk around Coachella, the music festival, walking around with a fucking selfie stick, taking selfies of herself for a fucking weekend at a music festival while she doesn't pay any attention to the fucking music itself so that she can, because she's a fucking influencer. Like, that's full of those people. It's full, I mean, it's just the worst fucking people. And I'm like, I don't mind saying it out loud on my own channel. I don't give a fuck. These are not my friends. These are not people I want anything to do with. So I don't give a fuck if they could be watching me right now. And if they got offended, well, I saw the number went from 10 to 8 up in nope, 7 just went down by one more. So I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to make some clips here that I can turn into YouTube shorts. I think I got a few bangers tonight. You know, take some of these long tirades, shrink it down to 3 minutes, get to the point. You know, we got the child molester who's 45 years old and has a YouTube channel playing a little kid's video game. We got the medical misinformation woman. We got the girl, the influencer who bought a $1,200 outfit so she could look like a hobo at a music festival walking around with a selfie stick. You know, I got stories. I think they can condense well into shorts. Maybe it'll take off on TikTok. I don't fucking know. And my X account will grow if I post videos because the algorithm will give you a special boost for because they want people posting more videos. So if you start posting videos, they'll actually promote my own shit more from my own timeline. So that's kind of a little bit of a motivation for me to see if it actually has an effect. So I'm going to make these 3-minute short videos, but I'm going to get the maximum punch that I can get from them. And whatever happens, happens at this point. I don't care. It's not like I can get a job ever again. I can't even get a job at fucking Burger King if I wanted to because of the FBI driving a tank into my house for a Twitter post that night. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know people watch the replays of these streams because I see the analytics. They get play for like a couple of weeks after the fact. They're doing better than the long form videos. I might start doing like 20-minute videos. I'm going to try different things, but I already know that YouTube put one of those back end flags on my channel that they say that they don't do, but then they said they do yesterday. And I think that was a Freudian slip that came out of that guy's mouth, but I'm going to download the video. Probably tomorrow I'll look. There's a place I can go and see all of the pre-record or the recordings of the meetings from the past. And I'm going to go straight to yesterday's because if like I hope he didn't hit the stop button on the recording until after that conversation with that girl. Because that'll be clip number 1 and then I just need a few clips of them saying they don't do that. And that might actually gain some traction. That might go viral on X and some other places saying like cuz there's a lot of creators that are being shadow banned right now and being gaslit just like me where YouTube says, "Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that." And here I've got them admitting that they do. In their own fucking words, right out of the fucking person's mouth. And yeah, fine, I'll get kicked off of YouTube or I'll have the video shut down or something like that. And then I'll tell you all, go watch it on X, go to TikTok, go to Rumble and see it there. But I'm sure I'm going to bring problems to myself if I bring that up and have that. Like if I put that out there, I'm sure that's not going to, I already know what to expect. I just don't have any fucks to give about it is the problem. So let's see. What else can we do today? I don't see blue sky in the house today. So, but it is May 20th. I did read Jesus Calling at some point in the last week. This is really, I think I finally found the problem to my camera situation here because I'm not seeing any of the lag. I mean, it might be a little choppy, but it's not lagging. It's not falling 30 seconds behind anymore. So thanks for being patient through all of that. Anyway, we'll just read some Jesus Calling because we got some time left on the clock, and this is my favorite book. You only got to read like 2 paragraphs a day, to keep up with it. I don't read it every day, but I guarantee you I've been reading this book since 2022. Yeah, I've been reading this book since 2022, so it's 23, 24, 25, 26. I've got 4 years in on this book. I've probably read the whole book at some point. And if there's a few missing pages, 2 more years from now, I'll be able to say I read the whole book. But let's see here. Jesus Calling, May 20th. When your sins weigh heavily upon you, come to me. Confess your wrongdoing, which I know all about before you say a word. Stay in the light of my presence, receiving forgiveness, cleansing, and healing. Remember that I have clothed you in my righteousness so that nothing can separate you from me. Whenever you stumble or fall, I am there to help you up. Man's tendency is to hide from his sin, seeking refuge in the darkness. There he indulges in self-pity, denial, self-righteousness, blaming, and hatred. But I am the light of the world. My illumination decimates the darkness. Come close to me and let my light envelop you, driving out darkness and permeating you with peace. So usually these things line right up with me, but since I never sin, this really does not. I'm just kidding. Of course I sin. I sin all the time, right? We all do. Oh, here's another bug. That I know why that bug is there though, with the video camera in the corner. That happens all the time. We're just going to go back to this. When your sin weighs heavily upon you, confess, come to me. You can't hide from God. Even like, here's the thing, I swear all the time and people get on my case about that. And they say, well, you're not a real Christian if you drop F-bombs every other time you say a sentence and this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, fuck off. You're a sinner too. Okay, Ned Flanders, Hidely Hey, Doodly Doo, or whatever. So like when somebody gets mad, right? And they're like, oh, fiddlesticks. Because they want to say, oh, fiddlesticks instead of fuck. God knows what you meant. Like, oh fiddlesticks when you're thinking, oh, I better say oh fiddlesticks instead of oh shit or oh fuck or go fuck yourself or whatever, Ned Flanders. God knows what the fuck you had on your heart. And it was probably a sin. You know what I'm saying? So don't go calling the kettle black and all this. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm pretty much wide open with it. I don't hide it. I don't make up silly words and phrases. I just say it like it is because I don't give a shit. And but there was a time in that I did. I had it in my mind that God cares more about what's on your heart than what comes out of your mouth, right? And I believed that for a long time. And I wanted to prove myself right. And I started digging into the Bible about this. And it turns out there's a lot in the Bible that talks about don't talk like me. Like don't swear, don't have a garbage mouth. And I can definitely see the benefit in that to some extent. It's just the way I've been like this my whole life. I've literally been talking like this since I was in like the 3rd grade, and my parents figured out that no matter how much Dawn dish soap they washed my mouth out with, it wasn't going to stop. So they gave up. And all my friends and everybody I grew up with. And then, you're in I was actually like polite in prison, and the guards would look at me like, all right, Ned Flanders, like, you know what I mean? Because they were worse than me. And I'm just like, I've just been like in my line of work in advertising, marketing, graphic design. Like everybody talks like me. Like this is how everybody talks that I've always been around my whole life. Like this is like what I'm surrounded by my whole life. To the point where one time I went out, I had a girlfriend a long time ago. And I met her parents for the first time. And we all went out to dinner together. And this was like, a big deal for her. Me, I'm just like, what, we weren't together that long at this point, but she wanted me to meet her parents. And at the end of the dinner, she's like, you don't even realize what you did you? She's like, you didn't notice the look on my mom's face for the whole fucking dinner, Adam? I'm like, what? She's like, how many, you dropped like 3 F-bombs on and my mom was like, almost spit out her food because she was like, oh my God, this guy. And I didn't even know I did it because I didn't give a fuck. So like, because that's how everybody talks. That I've been surrounded by that since I was like 9 years old. That's how everybody talks all the time. My career, everywhere I go, like there have been times where I talk the way I'm talking tonight and I'm working in a professional environment and I'm the tame one. I'm the one who's the quiet one with the most reservations and the least obnoxious. So this is what I've been like. This is what I've. It's hard to break out of that when you've been surrounded by nothing but that your whole life, and everybody you're ever been surrounded by talks like that. It's like I've been living on a pirate ship since I was 8 years old, and that's just how we talk. But I did look this up in the Bible, and the Bible does say, don't talk like that. Don't, I'm going to have to, I'm not prepared to pull up the verses and get into the weeds on this topic right now because we're like right at the end of the stream. But I can guarantee you that it's in there. And I have dug into this and I have things written down, and I could do a whole show about it, to be honest. And now we had this discussion when I was in the federal prison in Danbury. There were 2 chaplains. One was this guy who was very outgoing. He gave really good sermons. I feel like he was a very nice guy, but he didn't really get to know anybody on a personal level. He was just kind of like, he was there to do the big fiery, dance and the sermon on Thursday night during the worship or whatever, but he didn't get to know anybody personally. But he never swore. He never said foul language. He tried to convince us to not use foul language and talked about it a lot. The guards, everybody. He said it wasn't just us prisoners, but the guards and the whole system is just full of foul language. And he was, he would get into this is kind of how I started to dig into this for my own curiosity. And so the other pastor, the other chaplain, she was she didn't give a lot of sermons. She was the one who led all the Bible studies. So we'd all get together in small groups, and she got to know all of us on like a personal level and would talk to us. And like, she was very like caring in that regard. She wanted to get to know people on a personal level, not above the congregation, but like down in it. And she talked all the time about how she has the most raunchy, filthy mouth of anybody she's ever met. Yet she's a preacher. She's a chaplain. She gives sermons at churches and stuff. And she's like the most potty mouth, pirate ship captain that ever was. And it's a conflict for her. And she's also talking about what I'm just saying. She's been around it her whole life, and it's like, it's a hard habit to break. When it's like if you grew up speaking Spanish your whole life and you're trying to learn English when you're 45, 50 years old, you're going to have a hard time. I've been speaking swear words since I was like 5 years old, fluently, all of them, all the time, whether I knew what they meant or not. Getting in trouble for telling I got sent home for telling dirty jokes when I was in the 2nd grade. It's like straight up, I got sent home. I got in trouble in school for telling dirty jokes about hookers when I was in the 2nd fucking grade, and I got in trouble for telling hooker jokes and show and tell right up in front. I got up in front of the class and told jokes about hookers in the 2nd grade. And now I'm 50 and I've been speaking this my whole life. Like, how do you break that? That's like trying to learn English. It's like trying to learn English when you're 50 years old and you've been speaking Spanish since you were 2. And now you got to learn English. It is like learning a new language, and I can't break the habit. It's just, it comes out. And I don't really care. I do have a little bit of a filter. I don't go to a job interview for a professional job and be like, "What up, motherfucker?" I do have a filter that I can turn on, but it's kind of like an act. It's an act. I hate talking about this, but my one thing I noticed was my ex, my last, the bad relationship that's mentioned from time to time. She owned a business, a very public business. And I would watch, because I knew who she really was. We were the same in terms of how we talk and the things that we say and the words and the language. We grew up on the same pirate ship, is what I'm getting at. But this girl could just flip a switch and be the most fake public persona. Like Hillary Clinton when she doesn't think a camera's watching, and she's the most awful pirate mouth, like throwing fucking dishes at Bill Clinton behind stage when she lost the election and cursing people out and just swearing and F-bomb this and fucking cunt that and blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as the camera's on, oh, I'm prim and proper Hillary Clinton and I never say anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like she had that switch. And it would like freak me out when she would turn that fucking, because it would happen like that fast. She could go from being on the pirate ship to being like Hillary Clinton in a pantsuit in like the snap of a finger. And it was so fake. And I'd just sit there being, this is the most fake fucking bullshit I've ever seen in my life watching this. But it's because I know what goes on when the camera's off. And so, you see a lot of people like this out there in the world, that they have this like totally fake persona that they can just turn on in the blink of an eye when the cameras are rolling. But as soon as nobody's watching, they're a whole different person. There's a Steven Seagal movie called On Deadly Ground. And I'm not going to go and find the clip while we're sitting here. I'll get a copyright strike for it. You can find it on YouTube, guaranteed. Steven Seagal on deadly ground oil commercial. So it's the CEO of some oil company on camera petting a fucking deer out in the woods, talking about how, Exxon Mobil is, we care about the environment and we want to protect all the fuzzy little animals and blah blah blah. And then the camera turns off and they're like, cut. And the guy was like, get this fucking thing away from me. And he's like, give me a fucking tissue. So I don't even believe I fucking touched that dirty goddamn animal. Get the fuck over here, you motherfucker, and blah blah blah. And he's just a complete piece of shit. But when that camera's on, he's like Mr. environmentally friendly, cares about everybody, CEO of the oil company. And it's like, yeah, you see a lot of this politician. That's what politicians do. And so I can do that a little bit. I have that. I cannot just turn on this fake personality where I go from Hillary Clinton in front of the camera to Hillary Clinton behind the stage and back to Hillary Clinton with the camera turned on and, back and forth. I cannot separate my personalities like that. Like that's straight up schizophrenia. I can't do that, but I can turn on a little bit of a filter. Like if I'm going to grandma's house for Thanksgiving, I don't need to talk about, Jeffrey Epstein and the child molester club banging kids and shit. I can keep the swear words to a minimum, but like, I'll even be at my best friend's house and he has like a 9-10-year-old daughter, something like that. And sometimes I'll have to be like, is she gone? He'll be like, you're safe, brother. Okay. Filter off. But I'm like, sometimes he'll see me get like a certain look on my face and he'll be like, Adam. He'll be pointing, he'll be like, she's there, little girl alert. And I'll be like, oh, okay. And so I'll turn on the filter just enough so that I can say what I'm saying, but in like secret code, bro code, so that we both know what we're talking about. But little kid in the background, doesn't have to put on the earmuffs and pretend, and go to the other room. So I can do that, but that's about it. That's about the best I can do. And even then it comes out. Like I said, I had dinner. I had a girlfriend a long time ago, went to dinner with her parents for the first time. Her dad thought it was hysterical because he was cool, but her mom was a bit stuck up and prudish. And at the end of the dinner, she was like, she's like, what the fuck, Adam? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought it went well. She's like, you didn't see the look on my mom's face? What the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What are you talking about? She's like, you dropped the F-bomb like 3 fucking times like it was nothing. But that's how she's telling me that. She's like, you dropped the fucking F-bomb 3 fucking times like it was nothing. I'm like now? Because that's how we fucking talk? And like, oh, but you're not supposed to do that at dinner in front of my mom. But me and my dad's cool with it because he's cool, but she's not. And I'm like, oh, how the fuck was I supposed to know? And it's not like I was like, I don't know. It just came out. It wasn't like I was like making hooker jokes in the 2nd grade and, like going that off the rails, but things come out. And I thought I was I didn't even know I did it, to be honest. I'm like, what do you mean I swore? But I do it without even knowing that I did it is the point. Like it's so ingrained. It's like it's literally like trying to speak without swearing to me is like somebody who spoke Spanish since they were 2 years old, just turned 50, and now you need to learn English for the first time. You're going to struggle because it's like a whole different language. Like I'd probably, I'm telling you, I'm not the fucking guy to get up and give the sermon at church. I'm not trying to be that guy. God did not choose me for that. He's not asking me to do that. That's not part of the plan. That's not what he has in mind and how he wants to use me in this world. Believe me. There's this corporate white America church at the end of my street that I went to once. And oh my God, if I got up on the pulpit there, the old people in that crowd, half of them would probably die of a heart attack that day if I opened my mouth to them. The Church of the Affluent White Suburbanite, or whatever the denomination is, half the fucking parking lot's full of BMWs and Mercedes. So I don't know. They're not doing, I don't even know why they're going to pray to Jesus. They seem to be doing pretty well without him. So, then there's a church like 2 doors down from where I live. I've never been to, but honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I go to the website and I'm like, I probably wouldn't fit in there either. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I'd probably enjoy that church more. It's like 2 door. I would like to find a church here. I have a car now. It's not going to happen this weekend because I volunteered to work at the bakery on Saturday night. Oh man! But the people that are going to be there, I get along with everybody there. The manager she was in a jam. She didn't have anybody who could come in. I didn't want to see her have to work a 15-hour day or whatever she would have to do. I was like, look, if you can't find anybody, I'll come in. And I just volunteered. She didn't even ask me. I just said, look, I saw your message looking for somebody to come in. If you don't find anybody, I'll come in. So she took me up on that, and now I'm coming in on Saturday night, and it's fine. But it means I'm going to be wiped out Sunday. Like, I'm going to be wiped out because I'm closing on Saturday, and that's a rough ride. So, and then I got to go back in on Monday and do that all over again. And it's just like, it's going to kill me physically. So I'm definitely not going to church on Sunday. I'm not going to be getting out of bed. And I mean, never say never, who knows? But, honestly, lately I've been getting up on Sundays, and Saturdays and Sundays I've been spending cranking out hours for clients and jobs because I get quagmired throughout the week doing other things. And then Saturday and Sunday come and I'm like, shit, I got to do work. And so it wasn't like that last week. I got all my work done by Friday, but the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that, I was working 10 hours a day on Saturday and Sunday just to break even and get my work done. And this weekend's going to be just like that, except I have to work on Saturday night at the bakery. So I'm going to work I don't know what I'm doing. I got to start going to the gym again. And I don't know. Things are piling up. But let's see. So we were talking about Jesus calling. Let's wrap that up and then I'll get out of here. Your sins weigh heavily upon you. Confess your wrongdoing. The whole point I was making is that you can't hide from God. If you sin, you can't, like Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit that they weren't supposed to, and all of a sudden they realize they're naked. So they're like, here, take these fig leaves and cover up our parts and run around and we'll hide from God. It's like, you can't hide from him. God came down to the garden and he pretended to be, where'd you guys go? But he knew where they were. You can't hide from him. But he also forgives you. Like, he knows what we're going through. He came down here in the flesh to experience everything that we experience. And he got the mother load for sure. He came down here all he did was show up. He healed the sick. He made the blind people see. He fixed a bunch of broken legs. He healed the sick. He raised people from the dead. He turned water into wine, one of my favorites. And he fed, 4,000 people with a couple of fish and a loaf of bread. And what did they do? They killed him. They fucking killed him. They hung him up on a board, drove fucking nails and shit through his wrists and legs and hung him up to die. I don't think he swore, but imagine what I'd be saying if they hung me up on a fucking board for a Twitter post to die. I would have been like, fuck you motherfuckers, all you child molesting motherfuckers, you can all fucking die and rot in hell, you fucking piece of shit, fuck you. I'd be motherfuckering until my last breath. I think Jesus kept his cool even through all that, but he gets it. He got like you can't tell Jesus you don't know what it's like, God. You don't know what it's like being down here. Yeah, he does. Yeah, God can be like, you know what? Did anybody drive nails through your fucking arms and feet and hang you up on a board to die last week? They did that to me. They did that to me. You don't tell me I don't know what the fuck you're going through. I went through it. I got a shitty deal. I didn't even do anything to any of you people and you hung me up to die. At least you've done some shit. At least you've said something. At least you've hurt some people. At least you've done some bad things. At least you kind of deserve some bad things happen. Your karma, you've dished it out as much as you've taken it. I didn't do anything. And you hung me up to die. So don't tell me I don't know what it's like. I know what it's like. I've been here. I've done it. Next time I come back, I'm riding in on a fucking horse with a big sword in my hand and lightning bolts coming out of my eyes. And I'm going to cut some fucking heads off and I'm throwing you motherfuckers in the lake of fire. How's that? Don't tell me I don't know what it's like. But if you ask him to forgive you, he will. That's what he wants. He wants to forgive us all. He wants to forgive the satanic child molesting scumbags that rape kids on Epstein Island if they ask him. I don't want to forgive them, but he will. Jesus will. He will forget. It's in the Bible. If you took a plane trip to Epstein Island to rape a bunch of little kids and ask Jesus to forgive you, you're going to be forgiven. If I was Jesus, I'd be like, to the fucking lake of fire you go, motherfucker. It's too late for you, but Jesus is better than that. He'll forgive you. It's a good thing I'm not in charge of that shit, because fuck. The whole country would already look like the Gaza Strip if I was in charge of it. We probably got 2 years before America looks like that, but if I were riding in on the horse from heaven with the sword and the lightning bolts coming out of my eyes and whatnot, heads would be chopping left and right. There'd hardly be anybody walking around with a head still attached. So, but I'm not Jesus. And it's a good thing I'm not. So, remember, he has clothed you in his righteousness, so nothing can separate him from you. You can separate yourself from him. But yeah, I get it, Alex. Like I said, I'm not forgiving these motherfuckers. I want to see them in the lake of fire, weeping and gnashing of teeth. I want Satan showing up with a fucking pineapple to shove up Bill Gates's ass for eternity 6 times a day while he's living in the lake of fire. Like, fuck these people. But unfortunately, I've done bad things too. I'm not that bad, but I've done some things. I mean, obviously, I went to prison for a Twitter post. Must have been a pretty bad Twitter post. It must have been a doozy for the FBI to feel like they had to drive a tank into my front door of my fucking house. But, I've done some things I'm not proud of. We all have. Some people have done worse. I'm sure that guy in the YouTube meeting that I was at, the 45-year-old dude playing Roblox on YouTube, I bet he's done some worse things than any of us here at the live stream tonight. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. But if you're a 45-year-old dude playing Roblox, just saying, like, if you go to prison, you're not going to have an easy time. Like, that shit ain't gonna fly. We all know. Does it have to be said? Some people have done some worse shit than others. Irredeemable. Like, I keep saying I'm against the death penalty. I've been watching, like, here and there, I watch some documentaries about prison and prison life and things that, like, just this and that about prison. And I just watched the movie the other day called Just Mercy, which I read the book when I was in prison. Brian Stevenson is the author. It's basically a guy who got a bunch of innocent people off of death row. Great book. Great movie's pretty good too. It's pretty solid movie. The book is better than the movie, as they always are. But I have a low top. I can only watch so much because I was watching this one show about prison, and I was back in prison watching this show. I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, it put me back there mentally, and I could only watch this show for like 15 minutes at a time. It was on HBO. And it was about, oh my God, it brought back, like, I was having like flashbacks, and I was like shaking, and I couldn't fucking watch it because it was too like, oh my God. And because if you've been through that shit and you see it on TV, it's a totally different, you are looking at it completely different than the average person watching that on TV. And you're actually reliving what you went through when you watch that. And it's too much. It's like somebody who, one of my friends, his granddad was in D-Day, fucking stormed the beaches of Normandy during World War II. And he went to watch Saving Private Ryan, and he had to leave the movie theater within like not even 2 fucking minutes into the movie, crying. And he was shaking and having flashbacks and went completely batshit crazy because he said it was so fucking real. That it was like he was there again. And he said he could never fucking watch this movie again for the rest of his life because it was instant. Like, he was right back there on the fucking beach watching all his friends drop dead and getting shot at and the bullets whizzing by and everything that he had to do just to fucking survive that day. And he's watching it on a movie screen. He couldn't even make it for 2 fucking minutes. And that's what it's like when you've been in prison and you watch, like, even 60 Days In, that show, or some of these other, anything about jail or prison will fucking just wreck you. But I was interested in the show. These different, every now and then it's like, I honestly don't even know why I watched it. It just seemed like there was 2 or 3 different shows I watched. And but the thing is, here's what I got out of prison is that I was all about the death penalty. Fuck them. All these fucking child molesting billionaires, put them to death. Execute them. Electric chair, gas chamber, lethal injection, hang them, firing squad, whatever. Who cares? Let them pick. Let them pick which one they want. Murderers, serial killers, all these people. Now I'm not. I am definitely not. I am opposed to the death penalty, not because of like morality, but I can 100% assure you spending the rest of your life in prison is worse than dying. Ask anybody who's been in prison before if I'm wrong. I guarantee you will not find one fucking person who's ever been in prison who would disagree with what I just said. You'll find people who've been in prison who still believe in the death penalty. But you will never find anybody who would disagree with the statement that being in prison is worse than death. It's worse than death. If you've got a death sentence and you've got a day to die, then it's over. Like, this is my last fucking day in this bitch. I'm off to wherever I'm going next. All I got, baby, sorry, Jesus, and you get to go to heaven or whatever, but you're done with this fucking shit. You're done. You got a date. You don't have to do this anymore. But if you're just laying in a fucking prison cell for the rest of your life, which could be next week, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 45, 50 fucking years from now. living in the same fucking box, doing the same shit, eating the same garbage food, being harassed and treated like shit, and all the shit that goes with being in prison. Um that's worse than dying, I'm telling you. That is worse than death. I wanted to be dead. If I like when I was in there, the only thing that would keep me from not wanting to die is that I knew I was going to get to go home someday. But if I knew that like I'm never going home, I'd be trying to kill myself every fucking day. And that would be the only time I would, granted, and I have to say this over and over again, I will never kill myself. But put me in prison for the rest of my life, I'm going to spend pretty much my entire fucking existence is going to be trying to figure out how to get away with killing myself. If I know that I'm going to be in prison for the rest of my life, my mission, my number one mission is life in life is going to be making sure that my life doesn't last that much longer, and I'll find a way. But that's it. That's it. If I knew that I will never see the outside of that barbed wire fence for the rest of my life, then I want to make sure that the rest of my life ain't that much longer. And that's how a lot of people feel when they're in there. And that's why they go to great lengths to make sure that you can't do that in there. They make it very difficult, but people figure out how all the time. But spending the rest of your life in jail is in a prison is worse than death. It's worse than death. So if you really want somebody to pay and suffer for what they did, believe me, I've been there. Making them spend the rest of their life in prison with no opportunity to go home or get out of there is worse than killing them. They are going to go there. They are being tortured worse than if they knew that it was going to end on a certain day. I mean, yeah, they're going to get nervous if you're walking down the fucking hallway to the electric chair, you're going to be a bit fucking nervous. I mean, anybody would, but it's going to be over soon. You're going to be nervous because you're going to is it going to hurt? Like, is it going to hurt like hell? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to go through here? Anybody would be nervous. To say you're not, would be fucking stupid to say but sitting in a fucking jail cell that's, that wide where you can touch one hand to one wall, one hand to another wall, sleeping on a metal slab, eating prison food for the rest of your life, being harassed and shaken down, and you can't even go for a walk without being chained and handcuffs and chains and shackles and in the most horrible clothes, everything that they give you in prison is the most horrible version of whatever the thing is. The worst underwear, the worst socks, the worst toothpaste, the worst toothbrush money can buy, all of it. And for the rest of your life. Now imagine being one of these billionaire child molesters who live in, Bill Gates has got one of 8 different mansions that he can go rape the kids in. And he drives around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and shit like that. And now he's spending the rest of his life in a fucking prison. You don't think he would want to kill himself? If Jeffrey Epstein really did kill himself, it doesn't surprise me at all. Because someone who lives that large with all that money being forced into a box in a prison to spend the rest of your life there. Yeah. That's going to be on their mind. P. Diddy, if P. Diddy was going to spend the rest of his life in prison, he'd probably kill himself because he's not used to living like that. He's got a lot of friends. He's got an entourage. I guarantee you P. Diddy's doing just fine. He's probably running shit in the prisons right now because, that celebrity gangsta hood status is he's getting the maximum commissary order every month, every week. He's not hurting. He's living the best life you can live in prison. But if he had to spend the rest of his life in there when he's fucking P. Diddy with yachts and mansions and Benzes and fucking hoes and gold and, he had 150,000 gallons of fucking baby oil at his house. Jesus Christ, he had 150,000 gallons of baby oil. Imagine all the other shit that he had. Like, fuck, dude. And you take someone like who's living like that. How the fuck do you even buy 150,000 gallons of baby oil? They come in like 50. Has he got like 50-gallon drums of this shit? And like, where do you even put that? He's got a house that's big enough to hold 150,000 gallons of baby oil. And he can afford 150,000 gallons of baby oil. And that's just the fucking baby oil. And now that person's being stuck living in a fucking jail cell for the rest of their life. You don't think that's worse than death for someone like that? Someone who has so much money that they can rape whoever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can drive or fly or, I want to buy a Lamborghini today. It's Tuesday. I'm bored. Boom. Got a Lamborghini today. I want a Ferrari tomorrow. Boom. Got a Ferrari tomorrow. You do whatever the fuck. Oh, I want another mansion. I need another man. only got 2 mansions in Miami. I want one that's 10 feet closer to the beach. Boom. Got it. Oh, my yacht's only 200 feet long. I want a 400-foot yacht. Boom, got that. Like nothing. And now you're in a jail cell for the rest of your life. You don't think that that's worse than death for someone like that? It was worse than death for me. And I only had to go for 2 years. And I'm like, I wasn't going to kill myself, obviously. But what I'm saying is if I knew that was it, I wouldn't be alive right now. I guarantee you I wouldn't be alive right now. If that was a life sentence, like I'm never coming home, I'd be like, bye. I'm done. I'm not living. I'm not doing this. Whatever's on the other side is better than this. So Alex says, I would struggle to watch anything with Tom Hanks in it again. No shit. No shit. Movie Big from the 80s was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. My favorite movie when I was a kid was The Money Pit. That was like one of the first ones. That was when he was, date night Tom Hanks, date movie Tom Hanks, Money Pit. That was like right after when he, because all these Hollywood people, the ones that rape the kids, they all have to start out wearing a dress. You know that theory if you're talking about Tom Hanks like this. Back when he was on Bosom Buddies, he had to run around in a dress, dressed up like a girl, like Robin Williams had to do, and like what were the white chicks, the Jamie Foxx or the In Living Color black dudes had to wear the dress, and how many of these celebrities have to wear a dress? Because Cat Williams talks about that. They came at him, they told him he had to put on a dress. He was like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not wearing the dress." Kevin Hart, did he wear a dress? I know they came at Dave Chappelle to put on the dress, and I don't think he would put on the dress either, but maybe he did. I can't remember if he did it on the Chappelle show or not, but they always come at you wanting you to put on a fucking dress as part of your initiation. And if you do that, that's like the early stages of your Hollywood initiation. You put on the dress, you dress like a girl, and you get on stage or you get on TV or the big screen wearing a dress. Next thing you know, you're getting a fucking ticket to the Eyes Wide Shut party. And then they're taking you to the back room, surrounded by video cameras. And they're like, you got to rape that little boy, but we're going to videotape it. You do what we say, you're going to live in the lap of luxury for the rest of your life. You're going to get to do whatever the fuck you want, and we'll protect you. If you say no, well, they're going to find you with 2 bullets in the back of your head, and the coroner is going to call it a suicide. You'd pick. You decide what you want to do. And that's how that's how Israel's got Donald Trump by the balls. That's how the blackmail ring works. And that's why Donald Trump has stabbed us in the back, and he's gone completely 180 degrees. I mean, he was always a charlatan and a fucking con artist from day one. We all know this. It's like that story. You knew I was a snake when you let me in. When you let me in your home, you knew I was a snake. Now you're getting bit. And you're acting all surprised. I never was surprised. I was just hoping. I was hoping that maybe some of the shit that he said he meant. We find out. We know he didn't now. But I was hoping maybe he did. Because, obviously Kamala Harris, we knew what we were getting if she was the one. We knew what we were getting with her. I thought Robin Williams was one of the good guys. I don't think he was a club member 100% right on. I'm betting Robin Williams killed himself because he didn't join the club. Maybe he knew some things, so they killed him. Because he was in that level of fame. He probably got the ticket to the Eyes Wide Shut party and the whole. He wore the dress, Mrs. Doubtfire. He put on the dress. He danced around like, he probably got to that next level. Anthony Bourdain. A lot of these people come out and they see what's going on, and poof, they just magically die. Right? Prince. What's his name? The guy from Soundgarden. Chris Cornell. Chester Bennington. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park looks just fucking like his dad. John Podesta. That's a fucking wild one. Read into that. All these people want to come out and start talking, and then they poof die. It dies. They either kill themselves or they mysteriously die. Oh, Robin Williams died jerking one off with a rope around his neck or something. Like, really? Is that really how it went down? Or is that the story that they made up to further embarrass him as punishment for him threatening to spill the beans? I'm going with option number 2, to be honest. So, but I don't fucking know. But someday we're all gonna know. It's getting to the point where these people in charge, the child molester satanic billionaires, are so arrogant that, Bill Gates is probably going to come out and do a TED talk about how he dropped off ticks all over the country to get you to stop eating meat. And he knows. I can just, talk about the fucking kids that I raped on Epstein Island because nobody's going to do anything to me. Like, they can just come out and say, they can just tell you what they're going to fucking do now and what they've done. And they're like, what are you going to do about it? You haven't put us in prison yet. You definitely aren't going to now. So, but anyway, fuck, man, we're going on 3 hours and 37 minutes here, and it's been fun. I like hanging out with all of you. Maybe I'll pick a topic for next week. It looks like the camera situation might be under control, so maybe I can keep using OBS. Camera's still in sync. I'm waving my hand in front of my face, snapping my finger to see if it matches up, and it's in real time now. It might be slightly choppy, especially with, I'm sure if I watch the replay, I'll see some choppiness here and there, but seems to be working now. It seems like maybe a couple of tweaks made the difference. So I'm just going to keep that up, and we'll be back next week, and, keep on keeping on, I guess. And if I don't hear from you between now and next week, we'll talk again next week. Peace out, everybody.